Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.
All right, y'all. We are back up in here again, and honestly, we not even. I'm not even feeling Otis tonight, y'all. We ain't doing Otis tonight, man. We got to get that cream, bro. Let me get that cream up in here, man. Yeah. Let me get a little bit of that right there, man. That's going. Yeah, we need to be on that type of time, anyways, man. I hope everybody's doing all right, man. Let me say, let me start from the beginning, y'all. Welcome back, y'all, to another episode. Let's talk with J. Rush Jordan, also on the JVJ Network, and Let's Talk with JVJ on Facebook. Make sure y'all linking up on all of them, just in case every one of them ever goes down. Always got a backup. But yeah, man, make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, that share, turn them notifications on. Make sure y'all click all that in the bag of chips because we trying to grow around here. That always helps out. And then you'll be notified every time we dropping something. But man, yeah, welcome back. Welcome back, man. I got my boy Jive up in here. Jive Turkey, where you at? There you go.
What
There you
up? What
go.
up? What up? What's up, folks? Man, let me tell you, that introduction was serene. All those changes of scenery and that jazz music is it was like, damn. I was thinking, I was engaged in a lot of thought.
And look, I like that you took it like that because that's how I was trying to portray it. Like, look, that's supposed to be tonight. We're gonna be talking about things that should be important to us as adults. I know we have some younger people that watch the channel, and these are not gonna be priorities for them, things that they don't care about. But for us functioning adults out here trying to, we supposed to be the next wave of who's gonna be running this shit. There's gonna be some things that we might want to talk about. And you need
Right.
to bring it down real quick. Like bring it down, then we can go and get into it. But let the people
Grown,
know where
grown,
to
grown
find.
folks' minds, grown folks' mindset though. Uh,
Yeah, we old heads now. But yeah, tell them where to find you, man. Let them know all your shit real
you
quick. Like,
you could always find me on No Job TV. With you can find me with Reality with No Job on YouTube. But right now I'm gaming on No Job TV. But you can catch me on both sites, Reality with No Job or No Job TV.
y'all make sure y'all go do that. Look, especially if y'all be playing like World of Tanks and shit like that. Your boy. Look, I'm a novice when I go over there. I feel like a kid that just discovered the sport for the first time when I go play with him, cause he know this shit. He got this shit
Yeah,
down pat.
yeah, yeah.
So make sure y'all go over there and fuck with him. But look
I,
tonight, man. Look for real. This is an information show tonight. And then on top of it might branch off into some other shit afterwards. But we're gonna start off with trying to get an understanding about some things and going a little political to start it off strong. I'm just being honest with you. Going a little political to start it off strong. There was Javi, did you hear about this? That there might be a like a $2,000 stimulus check given from the Trump administration to Americans. Did you hear anything about this? Because I've heard a lot of
yeah,
people saying it to me.
yeah. I've heard about it, but it seems to be coming from AI generated sources. It doesn't seem like a credible source to me. I've been searching for it coming out the horse's mouth or from that administration, and I haven't heard it. But if somebody have the link, patch it through. But it seems to come from those people who are phishing and trying to get a hold of your computer hardware.
All right, well, good. That's perfect that you said that. That is perfect because I actually got something that came from the horse's mouth. So,
Okay.
but I got a tax expert. Shout out to this channel because I'm getting tired of all these content creators getting mad when you react to their content and then they get mad that you don't shout them out. So I'm shouting you out. Just preference it right now. I'm shouting you out. It's just like I don't give a fuck. Me personally, if I'm on the other side of this shit. But shout out to Clear Value Tax. Clear Value Tax on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. Give him a sub. Support his channel. He's giving us this information tonight. We're about to get into it. Pretty much, we're going to talk about these $2,000 stimulus checks, and he's going to give his breakdown about the information when it pertains to that, with that statement and all that with stuff. And yeah, get your cigarettes, get your weed, Get whatever you need. Cause we about to get into it. And like as my boy Job likes to say, roll the tape. So here we go, y'all. We got to roll that goddamn tape.
President Trump has officially confirmed and promised the $2,000 stimulus check to all Americans from the tariff revenue. So I want to be absolutely crystal clear about this. So this is not like an idea that he's floating around. It's not like, oh, he's going to consider this or he's thinking about it. No, he officially confirmed it and promised it. So I'm going to give you my opinion, but I want to show you the situation first. Okay, so I want to read you what President Trump wrote on Sunday, November 9th, and then we're going to review this piece by piece. It begins with, people that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world. With almost no inflation and a record stock market price, 401ks are highest ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debts, $37 trillion. Record investment in the USA, plants and factories going up all over the place. A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. Okay, so take a look at that last sentence. It's not we might, it's not we could, it's not we're thinking about it. It's clear, it's very clear cut, and it's an official promise. Now, I just want to point this out. Do you remember the potential Doge dividend check? So that stimulus check earlier in the year. So when President Trump floated that idea of giving a stimulus check from all the money that Doge was going to save the governments, when he was talking about that, President Trump had a different tone and he used a different language. He didn't make any promises. He said it may happen. We're thinking about it. It's something that he would consider. So I want to show you.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions. And we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt.
Okay, so you just saw that. When President Trump was talking about this idea, a Doge stimulus check, I immediately called BS, just the way that he was talking about it, the tone and language that he was using. So I said that's not going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. You can watch this video. And I made my position, I made my prediction very clear. So that was my objective conclusion. But do you now see the difference in President Trump's language? Regarding the Doge stimulus check, you can't blame President Trump for not delivering because he never promised a Doge stimulus check. But I'm telling you that this time it's different, because President Trump is explicitly saying that he's going to give a $2,000 stimulus check to almost all Americans, excluding the high income earners. And if he doesn't deliver, well, then I'm obviously going to be obligated to call him out on it. Now, let's analyze the other pieces of President Trump's post. My first concern is that if President Trump gives a $2,000 stimulus check to all Americans minus high income earners, then it's going to spike inflation, just like the other stimulus checks did. And right now, inflation is still running hot. Okay, so President Trump claims that the rate of inflation is close to 0%. However, the US federal government is reporting that the rate of inflation is at 3.0%. But currently, the true rate of inflation is closer to approximately 6%. Okay, so right off the bat, I have to disagree with President Trump's statement that inflation is close to 0%. Now, I just want to say this, and I'm addressing the MAGA crowd, and I'm just speaking very sincerely here. I want you to understand, please understand this, that you are allowed to disagree with President Trump and still support him. I want you to know that he is not your God. He is a politician. So it's like, I said this before, it's like this. I have a cousin, and a lot of times he says really stupid things and he makes really bad decisions. Regardless, I still support my cousin, even though he says stupid things sometimes. Anyways, it's very important for you to know that relatively speaking, the rate of inflation right now is actually pretty low. So 6% is not that bad, relatively speaking. Because, okay, the reason I'm saying that is you have to remember that the Federal Reserve is right now aggressively lowering interest rates, and they're getting ready to turn the money printers back on. And they're saying as early as Q1 of 2026, which is right around the corner. So even without these stimulus checks, the rate of inflation is going to go much higher in 2026. And with these stimulus checks, the rate of inflation, it would be mind-blowing. Now, in this section, President Trump says that the tariffs are giving...
And that part right there, I want people to understand it. No matter what, regardless of whether he does the stimulus or not, inflation is going to go up in the beginning of the first quarter of next year. It's going to be up because we're dealing with some things that have happened years before that we have to accommodate ourselves for. I just hit the shit out of my mic. Y'all didn't see that. But it's a process.
I didn't hear it either.
Oh, you didn't hear it? Oh, even better. God damn it. That sound deafening shit is working. But Yeah, we're dealing with things. We're fixing problems that happened before. Like we have a deficit. This deficit has been building and building and building and building over years. And when it comes to production and what we're putting out, all these stuff. And Job, and this is why Job is here tonight, y'all, and explain so because he actually knows more. He's more informed when it comes to the financial side of things. Inflation is going to go up regardless. We have not gotten to that peak where we can actually start going down the slope. But you give me your thoughts on what he's saying so far, whether you agree or disagree with him so far.
Okay, I like that he points out the tweet from Trump. Um, what this sounds like is universal basic income. I've heard this talk from Elon Musk, where they want to provide like maybe $1,000 to $2,000, just regardless of your economic status, if you're working or not, just to basically fight off or stave off inflation, and help out with bills at home. So this is kind of giving me that vibe. Um, if you guys ever want to get to understand this, look up. I believe the acronym is UBI, Universal Basic Income. Check that out, and you could see a parallel between what Trump is saying now and what he plans on doing in the future, based on giving a $2,000 quote stimulus check. Stimulus check means it sounds to me like a singular thing, but if it's gonna become more, once a quarter, or maybe once every 3 months, that type of thing. It's possible. We don't know.
Now, we definitely will see. And I like that he did the comparison of when Trump kind of floated the idea. And a lot of people ran with that. He was saying that he was going to do this when Doge was doing all this. He was saying that they were saving all these billions and billions of dollars. I know me and you had our conversations back and forth between this. I'm still standing on my ground that it wasn't billions and billions of dollars. Well, he was saying trillions. That shit wasn't saved. So I can understand, in my opinion, why he didn't do it then. But right now, he's claiming tariffs. And if people don't truly understand what tariffs are, I can't really, I don't want to go down that road with y'all right now. I'm just gonna shut up for a second. I'm gonna let him keep talking because he's giving his breakdown. This is a text guy, like, dude. His channel's like
Well,
2.6 million. Like, he know this shit, but go ahead, John, my bad.
the Treasury really wiped off a few hundreds of thousands off the books
Yeah. Oh, I
in
agree.
accounts.
I
So
agree. I
since
agree with
COVID
that. Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, so I mean, there might be
Personnel.
that much or more in there. So we're just speculating at this point. You
Yeah, I
know,
got my fingers crossed. I got my
right.
fingers crossed.
If you ain't got anything more, roll that tape.
Let's get it, baby.
Trillions of dollars. And the government can take this tariff money to pay down the government's debts of $37 trillion. First of all, President Trump posted this on November 9th. And as of November 9th, the government's debt is at 38.1 trillion, not 37. And this is according to the Treasury Department. This is straight from the Treasury's website. Next, here's how much money that tariffs have generated for the US government. In the most recently reported month, so September, tariff revenues soared to $31.6 billion. If we continue at that monthly rate, then that's going to provide the government $380 billion a year. Okay, so I really don't understand where President Trump's getting this multi-trillion dollars from. Again, that's a run rate of $380 billion a year. Now, I want you to take a look at this. For fiscal year 2025, the US government's overspent by $1.78 trillion. In other words, they had a $1.78 trillion deficit, and that includes the money that they got from tariffs. So in other words, the US government went deeper into debt by $1.78 trillion in fiscal year 2025. So listen, I'm just going to tell you this straight up. Like, I'm not quite following President Trump's math here. So I just want to calculate this out loud. Tariffs will give the US government $380 billion a year. and the government will need to borrow an additional $2 trillion to fund their overspending. All right, so according to my calculations, $2 trillion is greater than 380 billion. So how are we going to pay down the national debts with tariff revenue? Like, I'm not following. Maybe I missed this part in math class. I guess the education system in Illinois failed me. All right, so President Trump is saying that he's going to pay down the national debt with all this money that's coming in from tariffs. I'll tell you, like, honestly, I'm very skeptical. Like, let's see over the next few months if the federal debt goes down from here, from 38.1 trillion, or if it goes up. But I mean, that's just a silly question, because I guarantee you that the federal government's debt is just going to become larger. The only way that they're going to pay down debt, in my opinion, would be with gold revaluation. Other than that, there's no other way. Now, this part, President Trump says that there's record investment in the USA. Plants and factories are springing up all over the place. Actually, that is not true. As a matter of fact, a record amount of job cuts were announced in October, and the country lost 3,000 manufacturing jobs last month. Now, with all that taken into consideration, President Trump says a dividend of at least $2,000 a person will be paid to everyone. So my question that I pose to everyone is, are we supposed to believe this? Because just in this single post, there's so much misinformation. Can President Trump really deliver on this tariff dividend, or I guess you can call it a stimulus check? First of all, if President Trump wanted to give a $2,000 stimulus check, then Congress would need to vote on it, just like they did back during the pandemic. It would have to pass in the House of Representatives with a simple majority, and then it would have to pass in the Senate with 60 votes. And I'll tell you that there is no way that they're going to get 60 votes for this. Okay, so if President Trump wanted to pass this in the Senate, then he would have to do the reconciliation procedure, and that would lower the requirement down to 50 votes instead of 60. But even so, like I'm telling you, there's a handful of Republicans, especially in the Senate, that are fiscal hawks, and they would refuse to go at party lines on this because of the inflation situation. So in my opinion, getting this $2,000 stimulus check to Americans would be very challenging in Congress. But listen, I'll tell you this. The only way that I see this actually going through is if the recession worsens exponentially next year in 2026, and they have to save the economy with this being the last resort. Again, that would be disastrous for inflation, but you know how they operate. You know how the politicians in DC operates. They just put out one fire at a time, and they kick the can down the road. And listen, just like the last time that I said the Doge stimulus check.
Did y'all hear that shit right there? Because I said this shit I said this shit the other day. Well, not the other day, probably like a couple months ago or whatever the hell. But I said the way that the United States treats race relations, like trying to come to a conclusion and resolution on fixing the problem that we have with this racial issue that we have in this country, because, one group perpetuated it. The way that it comes to fixing that is the same way that we address fixing the national debt. We just kick it down the road for the next generation to have to fucking deal with it. Like, we're not addressing it during our time. I've noticed that. It's like, look, yeah, that we have this history of people being treated a certain type of way. Yeah, we're not going to do nothing about it. Let the next generation deal with it. That we have this history of overspending consistently, more than any other country, more than the next 5, 6, 7 countries combined. We just kick it down the road for the next generation to deal with it. It's just something that we're just not trying to, like the powers that be, the people who run this, that some of us vote on, and then some people who are appointed, they don't care about it. They just, it's like, look, I'm gonna be out of office in the next 4 years, bro. I ain't gonna have to deal with this shit, bro. And I'm rich, so it's like, look, that's gonna be them poor people problem. Like, we really need to call this out, and I'm glad that he said that, because it's true, man. You're just kicking the can down the road when this could be addressed, and it's just a whole bunch of talk in between. In my honest opinion, that they're trying to act like they're trying to fix it. They're not trying to fix it, in my opinion. But Job, you think they're trying to fix it in your opinion? And I'm talking about Democrat and Republican. I'm not just talking about one side.
No, I don't see a bipartisan effort on this. They're acting like they're not a part of the same country. They're not working for the same team. They're just doing offhanded things, left hand, right hand. It doesn't make any sense in the grand scheme of what the nation should be. Quite frankly, we're giving away billions of dollars to foreign nations left and right. So I'm not sure where the money is from Doge or where the money is coming from.
They didn't get none for real. Like when it comes down to it, Doge didn't really recover. Unless people still believe that. Doge didn't really recover. The majority of the money that Doge recovered, that the United States of America, like expenditure wise, you know, like what they're actually spending money on, where they saving money at. You know where majority of it came from?
I don't know where majority of it came from.
I'll
However,
tell you.
I heard where it was going.
I'm gonna tell you.
Venezuela, it was going to
No, I ain't talking about that.
Ukraine.
I'm talking about the savings that Doge found, like all the corruption, you know, because it was like what waste, fraud, and abuse. That was a talking point. Majority of the money that they retrieved, that they brought back to the federal government, was just by firing people.
Yeah,
But a
well,
lot of people thought they actually found corruption. They didn't find no corruption because ain't nobody been charged.
it couldn't keep the government open. It's been
Oh no,
43 days.
it was a lie. It was just a lie. That's what I'm saying. It was a fucking lie. It was a blatant lie from the get-go, because if there was so much waste, fraud, and abuse, and like we could really go back in time, which we're not doing tonight, y'all, but we can go back in time because all these videos are on the internet. You can find how certain people were talking about these issues, and it's like, yeah, Doge, support Doge. All this waste, fraud, and abuse, we're gonna get it. We know and Doge was literally on their website, even though they deleted some. A lot of people, internet shit lasts forever. People had screenshots of what the fuck they claimed they fucking saved this day, and then the very next day the number's like not even cut in half. It's cut in like a fourth. Like they cut that shit down in a fourth. It's like these people only, the money that Doge was recovering for the federal government came from firing people. And I know I'm saying that, and other people might disagree with me. Some of y'all in chat might disagree with me and shit. But I'm like, you can literally go Google it and you can find out where a majority of the money that Doge got. Because with any company, like, just think about this. Any company. I know I say the United States is a company and some people don't think it is. But with any company, the number one financial expenditure is always payroll. It's always paying the people that work for you, because you're going to cut deals when it comes to the materials that you're selling, whether it's food, metals, whatever the fuck you might be doing in your job. Your biggest payroll, unless you're probably a farmer, is going to probably be your employees. And we fired a lot of people. Like, think about it. Like, God, you probably know some people, because I done got calls from some of our fellow service members. Like, they lost their job working for the federal government.
I know a few that was furloughed for sure.
I ain't talking about furlough during the shutdown. I'm talking about when Doge in the beginning, way before this government shutdown. I'm talking about when Doge was doing their thing. I know probably about 15 people that lost their job because they said, like, even my dad got email. I think I talked to you about it. My dad got an email from Elon's team talking about, show us what you did throughout the week and prove to us that it was valuable to the federal government. I'm like, what the fuck kind of email is that?
That is a strong demand letter. You know what I'm saying?
That's some crazy shit for something like, and you got to really think about it. If somebody didn't work in the government and then they finally got a job for the first time ever in their life, being a foreigner from another country, sent you that email, I know you would feel some type of, hey, this motherfucker from goddamn South Africa telling me what the fuck am I doing to benefit the government in America. And it's like, you just walked into my house and questioned me. But, you know.
Right. He has a different set of books that we're not looking at.
Obviously, yeah. Like, you ain't lying about that. But here, we're going to finish out this last part. Last part, and then we're going to rotate to the next video, because the next video is kind of like the trick bag, kind of like shows the trick bag.
It was BS. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to call it like it is. For this one, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I would say I wouldn't write this one off yet. Not just yet. Because desperate times call for desperate measures. And a lot of things in the financial sector are on the verge of breaking. That's why they're panicking at the Federal Reserve. That's why they're cutting interest rates so aggressively. And that's why they stopped the QT. And now they're talking about starting the QE, the quantitative easing. And I want to throw this last curveball out there. So President Trump's tariffs are being challenged in courts. It's gone to the Supreme Court, and oral arguments have been heard on November 5th. It's been fast-tracked, but I'm telling you, it could take a while before we get the final decision from the Supreme Court. If Trump's tariffs are struck down, then the tariff revenue is expected to be cut in half. So it's not like they're going to go away completely, but they're going to be reduced significantly. And that would mean that annual tariff collections, like if they struck it down, it would fall below $200 billion a year. And you have to remember that the government overspends by almost $2 trillion a year. Listen, that's my assessment. And I just want to say that I'm going to keep you up to date.
That part right there, the government overspends on average $2 trillion a year. Maybe that should be something that we focus on. Where is that extra $2 trillion going every year? And you actually spoke on the job a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I did.
Why are we spending money to these? My bad. Let me shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
Right.
Eat that
Just
shit.
like
Go ahead, eat.
just like what you were saying, it goes out of the country. It goes to foreign nations to fight these wars, have these little programs. Yeah, it's not a lot of benefits to the American people at the moment. The American people demand that and would love that. They've been asking for this for almost 20 years now. One thing for certain, it needs to stop because it's hemorrhaging the economy. And as much as they're printing money and giving inflation a rise and boost, and they're tricking us with this $20 bill they call $2,000, yeah, it definitely needs to stop.
I'm right there with you on it. And the sad part is, the reason I asked that question because it's going to lead into this next video. And this next video is going to be the trick bag to try to help people understand what the hell. Because, like, look, dude, I'll be honest with you. A lot of folks in the United States of America are not financially literate. They really don't know how this government works. They really don't know. They know the basics of things. You know, we vote every 4 years for our president. You know,
They don't even know that.
We pay our taxes every time we buy. You know, we have sales tax and then we have income tax. You know, they know basic shit like that.
Right. Everything that's repetitive. They grasp and hook into that for sure. But nothing outside of that, common knowledge. Nothing outside of that.
Like when Trump became president, I think that was when Trump became president the first time. I believe that was the first time that Americans actually got a real breakdown on, like, they found out what a monument's cause was. They found that out for the first time. They probably didn't even know that was a thing. It's like, is that even a word? It's like, yeah, it's actually written into the Constitution, motherfucker. But you didn't know nothing about it. You found out about it. We're finding out things right now about what people can and cannot do, how government is supposed to work, or at least how it was written, and then people are challenging it. Like, people are finding out so much. But then these last, right now, I guess you could say 9 years right now. I guess 9 years we're figuring out shit. But
you know what?
10, 11 and 12.
I wish I had my tinfoil hat.
Yeah, look, a lot of these motherfuckers out here actually need to actually bring their tinfoil hat out just so I can identify them ahead of time. Because I'm like, bro, some of this shit right here is fucking crazy. But everything was done by design, in my honest opinion. Like, if people don't know what it is, they can easily be turned to be like, well, that's the reason. And it's like, that reason that they're pointing at, they're telling you that it is, has nothing to do at all with why the fuck your situation is the way it is.
Right.
But it keeps you off the other people's back who are telling you who the fuck your problem is. Right. But I'm about to show the trick. I'm about to show the trick bag. And shout out to the chat. Man, shout out to Alexis from Texas. Shout out to Hurricane. Shout out to Crystal. See you up in the building. Shout out to Big Op. And if y'all want to join the conversation, man, I'll drop the link real quick. Like, because me and Job, we had already talked about this. We were supposed to do this yesterday, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to you. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but that was my bullshit. I saw something else that I wanted to cover first. But this cannot go without being talked about. So I'm gonna drop this link in here for you real fast, but I want y'all to really pay close attention to the trick bag that's about to come right now, because it's the trick bag, and this trick has been played multiple times throughout history, and it's gonna be sustained, y'all. It won't be no argument about it, because I just want to give you a gist of what we just heard about the tariffs and all that voodoo stuff. Now I want y'all to see the similarities and see where you can point it out in this next video that I show you. But shout out to the Financial Historian channel. Shout out to the Financial Historian channel. We're gonna use one of your things tonight and let the people know something. But either way though, let's see something, y'all. Like my boy Jive, you got anything before we roll the tape?
Roll the tape, man. Get into
All right,
it.
here we go, y'all. Let's rock.
Governments love to tell you they're working for your financial freedom. They talk about stability, growth, opportunity. But if you look closely at history, you'll see something much darker. Governments have always used hidden financial tricks to keep ordinary people broke while consolidating wealth and power for themselves. And the shocking part is that these tricks are not new. They've been recycled for centuries, wrapped in different packaging, sold under new names, but always with the same purpose: to transfer wealth upward and keep the majority dependent. Let's start with the oldest and simplest trick of all: inflation. When a government spends more than it can raise through taxes, it has two options. It can admit the truth and tax its citizens openly, which is politically dangerous, or it can quietly debase the currency, reducing the value of every coin and every note in circulation. Ancient Rome mastered this tactic. In the 3rd century after Christ, emperors facing military expenses began reducing the silver content of the denarius.
Hold on, and before he gets deeper into like debasing the value of the coin, I want you to see exactly everywhere, because he's going to talk about people in areas.
Right.
Look at where all these areas are where this tactic has been employed. I'm being petty. I ain't gonna lie, I'm being petty, Jive. I know.
I know.
But I want you to see where it's coming from. I want you to see. Please pay attention to that.
Coin that once contained nearly pure silver eventually became mostly copper with just a thin wash of silver on top.
Nah, he's saying the right stuff. He's saying the right stuff. Let him rock.
All right. Let's keep going.
But everyone holding those coins paid the price. Inflation skyrocketed, savings evaporated, and wages couldn't keep up. It was a silent tax on the population, a trick still used today, just with central banks instead of imperial mints. The Middle Ages brought another version of this game: forced loans. Monarchs in England, France, and Spain routinely leaned on wealthy merchants and guilds to lend money to the crown. Of course, these weren't voluntary. Refusal meant fines, confiscation, or worse. Sometimes the crown promised repayment with interest, but repayment often came late, in devalued currency, or never at all. The government maintained its wars and palaces, while merchants had little choice but to surrender their capital. The trick here was coercion disguised as patriotism or duty, and it worked for centuries. By the 17th century, the financial system itself became the trick.
Yep.
When Britain created the Bank of England in 1694, it wasn't out of charity. It was because the government needed money to fight wars with France. Wealthy investors bought government bonds, and in return, the crown guaranteed interest payments funded by taxes. This sounds like a fair deal, but think about who paid those taxes. Ordinary people, through duties on goods like salt, beer, and cloth. The wealthy lent money to the government and earned secure interest. The poor paid higher taxes to fund those interest payments. It was a wealth transfer system dressed up as national finance, and it cemented a pattern still alive today. The safest investments in the world are lending money to governments, and those returns are ultimately guaranteed by the labor and consumption of masses. Fast forward to the modern world, and the tricks are everywhere. Take deficit spending. Governments run up massive debts, issuing bonds bought by investors, banks, and foreign powers. Politicians tell the public it's for infrastructure, jobs, or social programs, but much of it funnels into defense contractors, corporate subsidies, and bailouts. When repayment time comes, governments don't cut spending at the top. They raise taxes, inflate the currency, or slash social benefits. The trick is that the debt looks like it's for the people, but the burden lands on their shoulders while the profits go to the bondholders. And then there are bailouts. During the 2008 financial meltdown, banks took reckless bets, bundled toxic mortgages into securities, and nearly collapsed the global economy. Who paid for it? Ordinary taxpayers through massive government bailouts. Who profited afterward? The very same banks, which emerged bigger and more concentrated than before. The trick was simple: privatize the gains, socialize the losses, and the public was told this was necessary to save the system. Even the way governments handle pensions and retirement is a sleight of hand. For decades, people...
And that's the thing that I would hold over Obama's head. That 2008 financial crisis, I'm not gonna hold the crisis over his head, but the bailout.
Yeah, he had a choice to give the people the money.
Yeah, he did, and that's why I hold it over his head. He chose to bail out the banks that actually went out here and created this entire situation. So I'm like, when all these other folks be talking about Obama didn't do nothing for black people, Obama literally kept the status quo going throughout his entire presidency, his 2 terms. But that's the one thing that I hold him, because all the rest of the other presidents, every last one of them, they keep the status quo going no matter what. Like, I'm like, so why you gonna hold the one black dude to holding the status quo together and not creating change? You know, a nigga get in there, there's got to be change. But, you know, with the rest of them, you know, status quo is perfectly fine. We ain't gonna criticize that. I hold against him bailing out the banks because they created that crisis. They got greedy. They played on the American citizens to get money out of them. And then when they fucked up, the federal government took the American taxpayers' tax dollars and bailed them out. And they still benefited. So it's kind of like, it's like you almost crashed the fucking economy and we still gonna help you.
Good question is, when the housing markets crashed, did people get their homes back after the bailouts and these foreclosures?
Nope.
Right.
All these loans that they knew these people didn't qualify for, they gave them to them at these crazy ass rates that they knew these people couldn't pay. It's just like when you hear somebody getting a 25% interest rate on a $10,000 car. It's like, what?
Right. They foreclosed on United States security interests. People just don't. People would never understand just that simple thing.
That's why I say they've done a very good job, especially when it comes to financial literacy. But when it even comes to historical literacy, they dumb down the population. And then when people come out and actually tell them the truth of what it was, you seem like, what's that old saying? If you tell a lie long enough, people will believe it, and they'll believe that the truth is a lie. They've been telling a lie for so long that when you tell somebody the truth, they look at you like you're lying. And it's like, this is the craziest part about it. When we say shit about this country, we say this shit about this country and they be like, you're lying. The information that they say you're supposed to be lying about can easily be picked up by one of our phones, and you ain't even got to type it. You can just hit the button and say it, and it'll tell you that it ain't lying. But that influence is so goddamn strong. That brainwashing is so strong that they won't even take the second to tap their fucking phone and ask it the question.
The crazy thing about that statement is, it's not the brainwash. It's just that you just don't even know what question to ask at this point.
You know what I'm saying? If you got into a conversation like that, you would have the question to ask. Dude, you know how many times I done told people just Google it.
Remember, this is you and I are in more sophisticated conversations than most. Not a lot of people are gonna break this thing down on a day-to-day over a joint or anything like that. They're just gonna talk about reckless shit. Like, you saw what LeBron did last night?
Entertainment. The things they put in front of you to distract you.
Bread and circus. That's bread and circus.
Right.
Keep them entertained. Are you not entertained?
Are you
Gladiator.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
I just want people to understand, like this videos to help with the tricks, man. I want people to pay attention to the tricks. He's gonna tell you the tricks. Maybe you might notice some of them. Maybe you might not notice none of them. But I hope you notice at least one trick. Because literally in the last video that we were talking about inflation. It built off, like it started off with inflation. That was the first trick right there. There's no
spoiler alert. Yep.
The first trick.
This destroys empires. This type of system that destroyed every empire from Rome to Britain to Spain to now. It's a wrap. Buzz, wrap it up, grab your freedom tools, and let's go to the revolution, y'all, because this shit is already over.
The first trick to me is quantitative easing. You didn't hear that word, but he said it in the last video. If you understand what that is, you can understand what inflation is.
Well, inflation only comes and that's why I say I wouldn't go with the quantitative yet, because I think that's a factor afterwards. The only reason I would stick with inflation just right off bat, because what is the cause of inflation? Tell the people real quick, Jive. What is the cause of inflation in any country?
In any country, uh,
Yeah.
there's a
What's
no,
the
there's
most
a
basic?
number, there's a number of reasons, but again, it's blamed on too much spending.
Spending more money. You spending more money than what you got. You not producing that much. That's like me and you. And honestly, a lot of Americans, if they actually dabbled into it and looked into it, they would understand it better, because a lot of folks are living outside of their means. You make $1,500 a month, but somehow you spending $2,000 a month. You got a $500 deficit every month. That would be the easiest way for them to break it down. But they don't look at it like that, because nobody's talked to them about shit like that. People I've heard more people talk about taking on debt being a positive thing than not taking on debt. It's crazy to me. It's like credit. They call it credit. Just get that shit on credit, bitch. That's debt.
Right, that's debt.
I understand that you can get some shit on credit. It's like, yeah, my credit score good, so they'll loan me this. It's still, you're taking on debt. Every time we go buy a car and get a car loan, you're taking on debt. You owe somebody some money. But you shouldn't put yourself in the situation of taking on money that you can't really physically pay back in that time. Because it's like some people be like, oh man, my car payment ain't nothing but $500 a month, which is crazy as fuck to me. But $500 a month, I got a goddamn fucking 72-month lease or some shit like that. And it's like on a vehicle that's worth $10,000. It's like, bitch, you're paying the interest on top of the debt that you already had to pay. These people are ripping you the fuck off.
Yeah, that's the cause the side effect of a bad credit score.
I done seen them get good people with it.
They get good people with it, but they have a really nice car, a really nice house.
It's all a gamble, man. That's why I haggle, man. Like my vehicle that I bought, the last one I bought, man, I ain't even buy that shit for no dealership, bro. I went to an auction and bought my shit. It's like I already know I'm gonna pay a fee, but I can haggle on that fee that I pay. In the same part, you can haggle at on for all the people that don't know, if you go out and buy a vehicle, you can haggle on the price of that shit. It's probably got $3,000 to $4,000, if not $5,000 of markups on that shit. You can haggle on the price of what the fuck you paying for the shit that you get. But when you borrowing money to pay for something that you want, you're putting yourself in the debt automatically. That's why I tell people all the time, like, if you don't need that exact thing, fucking goddamn save up. You can buy the 2025 and go into debt for the next 7 years, but all you would have had to do is fucking save for the next 2 years and get a fucking $1,500 goddamn fucking Grand Marquis or some shit, and you could buy the goddamn fucking new shit fucking in goddamn 4 years straight up and not owe them bitches nothing.
All I got for y'all is 2 words: promissory notes.
Not them promissory notes. Not them
Phone
promissory
letters.
notes.
One word.
So that's pretty much what it is when it comes down to it. Like that whole note you paying, that's pretty much a promissory note. But either way though, let's let them get some more of these tricks in. And I do need to read some of these comments. Shout out to Milestone. I didn't get you, Milestone. He said, "What's the word?" Salute the hurricane.
Salute.
Once again, shout out to my boy PA. Op in the building said, definitely dead, but they want to see if you can pay it. Laughing out loud. Dane was on the Breakfast Club trying to explain that, and it went over. All the time. The motherfuckers stupid up there. They just make money and they just spend it, and they all gonna be broke. Well, some of them might. I don't know. Charlemagne will. And see, debt is legal in this country because the government gets a cut. You are correct about that. All right, fucking yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's get through these tricks, man, because inflation was one of them. He gonna keep going. I'm just gonna let him keep going.
Countries like the United States, Britain, and across Europe have paid into government-managed systems, trusting that the money would be there when they retired. But governments often don't actually save that money. They spend it immediately and leave IOUs in its place. The promise is that future taxpayers will cover the cost when the bill comes due. It is essentially a generational Ponzi scheme wrapped in official language. It works until demographics shift, populations age, and suddenly the system is unsustainable. Then the government reforms it, usually by reducing benefits, raising the retirement age, or inflating away the value of payouts. Notice the pattern. At every stage, the trick relies on perception. The public is told inflation is growth, forced loans are duty, national debt is investment, bailouts are stability, and pension cuts are reform. The language masks the reality, the transfer of wealth from the many to the few, from the bottom to the top. And history shows this trick has worked for centuries because most people don't study economic history, don't understand financial systems, and don't see the trap until it's too late. In recent decades, the tricks have only become more sophisticated. Consider quantitative easing, a term most people never even heard of before the 2008 financial crisis. Central banks created trillions of dollars out of thin air, buying government bonds and mortgage-backed securities to stabilize markets. Politicians and bankers reassured the public this was necessary to prevent collapse, and it worked for the financial system. Asset prices soared. Stocks, real estate, and bonds surged in value. But who owns most of those assets? The wealthy. For the average household without large investments, the benefits were minimal, while the downside came in the form of distorted markets and rising living costs. The trick here was that money creation saved the system for those at the top, while fueling inflation and inequality for everyone else.
That's why every time I used to have conversations, and this is before I got into the stock market. Y'all, I'm in the stock market now. I participate. When people would say the stock market is up, and I'm like, what the fuck does that do for me that doesn't have stocks? What does that do for me? But you would hear our politicians, our leaders saying that the stock market is up as if that is a representation of everybody in America is doing good. Majority of Americans are not in the stock market.
Right.
They don't benefit from that. So you're telling me like 15 to 27 maybe percent benefit from this, and that is supposed to be representation of why everybody else is doing good? No, that's not. That's showing you that that small majority, that small minority, my bad, not majority, that small minority is benefiting, and they're using that to. But here you go. America actually had like, ooh, hold on, I gotta say this real quick, and then y'all jump in. America has they've done a really good job. They actually have done a master class on making the minority of any situation seem like the majority. It's like one black person kills somebody, look at what all of them do. One Muslim kills somebody, look what all of them do. Look, the stock market is doing good. All of Americans are doing good. Like, it's crazy how they mastered that talking point, because it couldn't be any further from the truth. But go ahead, John, my bad.
Equal opportunity. Everybody has an equal opportunity to do what needs to be done, but they don't, because of course.
You believe they do?
Of course, if you are educated about the subject, you would understand what step to take. But if your subject matter is all about entertainment and sports, what new movies coming out, what new J's is on my feet, you gonna get passed by.
But you gotta think about that. You gotta think deep and hard about that. Why is it that? Because we kind of spoke a little bit on it earlier. The government has put out a concerted effort, and we have historical evidence to prove this, to dilute the minds of the population. They really want a docile, just do what we tell you to do type community. And they tried their best.
The crazy thing is, they tell you what to do, and you completely
make it extremely hard for you not to do it. Well, extremely hard.
You do the opposite of what they tell you to do. They announce that, hey, this is going to happen, and this is going to take hold, and yeah, you turn around and go ahead.
I'm about to say, because for people that are actually tapped in, and know what the government is actually putting out there, and they know where to go to read these things and understand what the announcements are and what type of expenditures they're putting out there, that's one thing. But for the vast majority of Americans, they don't know nothing about that. And it ain't that they've been told. It's that the government has allowed so many distractions to be put in their First off, you really got to think about it. Certain people come from certain backgrounds. Like certain people don't come from money. So obviously their number one fucking struggle is going to be survival.
Right.
All that. And then you have people that come from good backgrounds where there actually is money there. Their number one focus is not going to be about understanding the system. They just, some of them just fuck up money. We saw the influencer team. He came from a family that had money. He just wanted to get drunk, run some people over, and then flee to Mexico. Like that was what his focus was. He came from a good background.
Right.
So it's like you really got to break it down on the stipulations that the government has put in place, plus the distractions that they allowed to. Now, I'm not saying that people don't have personal responsibility, because they do. But it's not a surface level conversation. That's what I keep trying to get at. It's
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, there's multiple factors that play into it. But go ahead, my bad.
But when you learn from experience, when you try to tell somebody or educate them about something that you know that is benefiting you, something that they should know that will benefit them, you ever see their eyes glaze over? You ever see that? You ever see them yawn?
The eyes of the widow to the soul. They be like, "Oh my god!" Like
it's
either the wheels start spinning, or they looking at me like I'm fucking crazy, or they give me that motherfucking. What's that stare? The motherfucking fluoride
1,000-yard stare. So if you see that, I get sick and tired of experiencing that shit with a lot of folks. I'm not saying that I'm looking down to folks. I love my folks. I love to tell them and educate them and all that. But it comes to a point where you feel like you're talking to the fucking wall.
No, it's not even a feeling. You are talking to the wall because the programming and the brainwashing has been so good. It's been perfected over time so long that, look, as soon as you start talking and giving people the right information, this is what they say in their head. Again! That's what they do.
Hey, I'm not a graffiti artist, but the wall will stay a fucking wall.
But like I'm trying to tell you, like when you've been told a lie for so long, the truth sounds like a lie when you finally hear it. If you lie to me my whole fucking life, like dude, see, I have people that I work with still to this day for the little bit of time that I'm still gonna be working for them, working with them. They're in their 50s, late 50s, mid 60s. And I say Christopher Columbus did not discover America. And they look at me like this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how they look at me. And I be like, you've been on this earth longer than me. But the brainwashing, the indoctrination has been so strong. They don't even have the need to even look. They at that point now, it's like they ain't finna do nothing to disprove their belief. Because if they disprove their belief by understanding the truth, that look, they're not willing to deal with that when in their personal life. Because they're not willing to change. They're comfortable with where they are. Even if they believe, like a lot of people want to believe a lie. We talk about it all the time when it comes to relationships. Like a dude want to believe, like, yeah, your girl go out every Friday and Saturday to the club and she just going with her friends and having fun. You just want to truly believe she ain't out there sucking some dick or something. And a girl will be like, her boyfriend always don't pick up his phone, you know, after he get off work and he supposed to be home and shit. And you're like, he ain't cheating on me. You just be praying. It's like, once you buy into something, it's really hard for people. People don't like change. And they really don't like the truth. a lot of people do not like the truth. And when you've done a good job on the front end of indoctrinating and brainwashing folks into believing something, it makes it really, really hard for them to really accept the truth. That's why you see people that will sit around here and argue against universal health care in America. But we all can sit here right now, especially me and you, Job, and talk about how much money this United States, these trillions of dollars the United States waste sending money to other countries and trying to build weapons and shit. And you telling me we can't pay for these folks to have health care? Like, you get sick, you just go to the hospital or go to a urgent care or something? That's outrageous. But I'm like, and they try to make it seem like it's the government's money. Like the government didn't take it from us. Like it's crazy. It's the mindset, the thinking of it. I'm like, bitch, this is y'all's money. They took it from you, and they didn't ask you if they could take it. But it's a problem if you tell them what they need to spend it on.
So how much times does Congress vote and ask what to spend the money on? How much time do they do that?
Well, when it comes down to it, like you talking about passing bills, because that's what it's going to come down to. They have bills. They have a spending bill.
They
like
vote on that. They vote on that by themselves. There's no input. They don't reach back to the public as if it's not a republic to hey, should we send money to Ukraine? They don't do that. They got the budget. We're in Congress. We own the purse, and we're gonna discharge what we need to discharge. And damn if you don't like it. And of course, you gotta consider the racism of it all.
Right.
Because
you pretty much speaking on the trick bag that I'm speaking on.
Hey,
Think about it.
mean,
this is the
great
trick
minds
bag.
think alike.
Think about it. Think about what you just said right now. How often do they go back to their constituents pretty much and ask them how should I vote on this? They never fucking do it. Because the trick bag is that these people represent you and they have your best interest at heart. But when you see how they vote, that shit ain't in your best fucking interest.
You ever hear the Gallup poll said this? When have you seen a fucking Gallup poll?
When have you ever been offered to answer a Gallup poll?
That's what I'm saying.
Any of these polls, when have any of us been asked to answer any of these fucking polls that they talk about?
It's not for the public. It's for those caucuses.
I'm not going to deny that they have these polls that they actually ask people on, but I believe it's people that these issues do not affect. Like, that's like asking somebody, how do you feel about the food scarcity in a city? But this is a motherfucker that lives in a fucking 10-bedroom fucking mansion with a pool in the back. How do you feel about that? They ask those motherfuckers how they feel about it. They don't ask the average citizen, because honestly, we've gotten to the point now, if we've seen it done already, you could just send out a text. You can send out a text and ask people to vote yes or no. You base it off of that. Hold on.
Yep. They do it for everything else. They do it for FEMA. They do it for when a child gets kidnapped.
Amber Alerts.
You know,
back in the day, in the early 2000s, American Idol, and for the 9/11 shit, I was like, oh shit.
It's so easy to do it, but they show you, and that's why I want people. And Hurricane, you heard me talking about this the other day, especially when we talked about that video the other night.
Right.
We have a lot of A to B people.
Right.
Like, this surface level thinking, A to B, when it really is A to Z.
Right.
You just surface level thinking about a situation, and you lock in on it, not understanding the complexities to it, the context to it, all the different variations that could play into this conversation. And we just have so many surface level people that it's like, yeah. And it's like, dude, did you even think about what you're saying? It goes a lot deeper than just because the consequences play out. It's like, I don't think it's right that anybody should be able to call somebody a bitch Or like here, the argument for black people. I don't believe it's right and it should be illegal for anybody to call somebody a nigger in America. Okay? On an A to B scale, look, that it sounds pretty racist. It's very hurtful to a group of people. But you know why? What I would say, I would hope this is why they did it, but I know this ain't why they did it. But if you can say this one word is illegal and you can't say it, while we still have in the Constitution freedom of speech, then every other word you have is on the books. But these stupid ass dummies didn't figure that out when they came up with their assault rifles ban, when they still yell around here, we have the Second Amendment. They didn't have no problem. They didn't have one fucking problem when it came to taking the assault rifles out of the Black Panthers' hands. But now they want to yell and say, oh, they want to take away bump stocks. They want to take away certain sites. People have this surface level thinking, not understanding that if you agree with taking one thing away, you take away a bunch of shit.
But the crazy thing is they got rid of that, they repealed that, and gave you switches.
No, they didn't give you switches. They didn't give you switches. Switches wasn't even the thing during the time. It was something that came later on, because just like here, when the Second Amendment was created, you had muskets. Then we got to the point of having fully automatic weapons. They banned the fully automatics, but the carbines, semi-automatic weapons, they left them alone. There was a big transition in between. It was a big transition in between. These motherfuckers, they don't understand that if you open the door to something, and that's why I be laughing at the Second Amendment people, talking about, oh, we open the door and let them do background checks, people ain't gonna have it. Bitch, they already opened the door on y'all bitches. Do you not understand that? Y'all let them ban assault rifles when the Black Panthers had it. So when you do it with other things, other issues, you're just gonna open the door and it's gonna be, you can't ban a word. You see why they don't want to ban a word. They're not gonna ban a word for us. They ain't gonna ban shit because they know they can open the door we can ban a lot of other shit. But you can't go against freedom of speech, right? That's what they say.
Well, I'm looking at it like the governor of Texas the other day. He wants to ban Sharia law. Like,
it's even practicing his
over here. Like,
huh?
why is Sharia law even talked about over here? And that's what they do over there with the Middle East, with the Sunnis and the Shiites. Like, why is that even over here? Like, shit, man.
So the point is, the First Amendment is Congress shall make no laws that is or against religion.
And have they not made laws?
They made laws.
It is. No, they haven't made laws. You don't think they made laws against certain religions?
Tell me one.
Well, Hurricane just gave you one where they tried to, but executive orders are actually laws because they last for a certain amount of time. They last for a certain time.
Executive orders. So look. The executive, they can't create a law.
They do.
They can't create a law.
You ready for the trick? Ready for the trick in it? There's no such thing as they can't create a law because every law can be appealed or overturned. So they can create laws.
But the responsibility for creating the law rests with Congress.
Mm-hmm.
The judiciary overhears it if it's unconstitutional or not, and the executive either enforces it or vetoes it. But they really cannot create their own laws.
They did, remember? They did it. They did it with us. We're the prime examples. Think about it. It was not illegal to not have a job during what was it called? Reconstruction. It wasn't illegal before Reconstruction, but during Reconstruction with all these free blacks, and they wanted to try to figure out a way to get them back into slavery with doing it a legal way, they voted on laws that make vacancy. Like, you ain't got a job, you just walking around during the day, that's against the law. You go to prison. Like, they've shown multiple times.
So these ordinances, because it was an ordinance.
No, that was enforced by the federal government,
Which federal government?
the United States of America.
Lincoln's federal government? Jackson's federal government? Who?
Both
Which
of
one?
them. Both of them.
Man, ain't no federal
It's
government.
well, here,
Remember,
we can disagree,
remember,
but it's documented.
remember during Reconstructions, Lincoln's troop was in the South, making sure that black folks was going to the voting polls, was having their normalcy, their normal, their new normal lives lived out.
You ready for this? This is gonna be
Go
the funny
ahead.
part.
Go
The
ahead.
same time where you said, okay, link the North won the Civil War. Let's give it like here. How many months you want to say after the Civil War got won? How many months you want to go?
It don't matter.
Now I'm saying, just give me a number. Just give me a random number. How many
I'll
months?
I'll give you 10.
10 months. 10 months after Lincoln them done won the Civil War, then set in the law of the land. This is what we're all doing as Americans.
Right.
Americans. Why the fuck people in Texas was still enslaved?
Why?
Because that shit didn't mean nothing. Like, look, that's why we have the holiday Juneteenth. That's why we have it. Juneteenth is when these people finally figured out, and that was years after the Civil War had already been settled. Like, nah, y'all niggas are actually free. But even after 10 months, 12 months, whatever we want to say, these people were still held in bondage, even when the law was already changed. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like that knowledge of history type shit.
So
with their laws.
you're right. I mean, we definitely get it. I get the vagrancy laws.
You don't have a law without enforcement.
Certain jurisdictions, just like today, choose not to follow the law. Like about this abortion thing. Certain jurisdictions do not follow the law. About
No. You gotta remember the law. There's no federal law on abortion anymore. That was the whole point. They took the federal law away. Now they left it up to the states.
Right.
Now it's not. They're not abiding by the federal law because the federal law is you can do whatever the hell you want.
The federal law is preventing you from getting an abortion. The states are saying, "Hey, we can allow you to get an abortion." Like Virginia, I think Virginia is one of the states that allows you to get an abortion, despite what the
state law though. It's not a federal law.
Right, but you're mixing what we're saying up. You're going back on the words because I'm saying that the state law, the federal law, tells that you cannot get an abortion, and the state law allows you to get an abortion.
No, the federal law doesn't say you can't. When they overturned Roe v. Wade was the law that passed to allow it made it the law across the land that women could get abortions. They overturned Roe v. Wade, and all they did with that overturn is they said they sent it back to the states. So each individual state could decide whether abortion was okay in their state. And that's why you see where in red states it's illegal and in blue states it is legal. That the federal government pretty much relinquished all responsibility of governing that. They said we're not dealing with that. That's not a federal law anymore. That's the state. That's the state.
Definitely. We could draw the line there.
You know what I'm saying, man, that's just what it was. Like the federal government does not regulate abortions anymore. That was the whole push that the Republicans went for, to say that no, women can't have abortions. And that's what they wanted to push, but they knew they couldn't push that across because they weren't going to get the votes. So then they said, we're just going to abolish it with the Supreme Court and say that it's up to individual states to make their calls. The federal government's not regulating this. That's the whole point. They just pretty much just said, us as the federal government, we have no say-so in this. The states got it. That's what they said. That's what they did. That's why you can't come to Alabama and get it like you want to, but you can take your ass to fucking I guess New York.
Right.
I guess New York can get one. It's not
Right.
the federal government doesn't. They that's relinquished. They're not governing that anymore.
Right.
They're
Right.
not
Right.
doing
Right.
that.
Right. Where you know we get so locked in that we go about saying the same things different ways. This is why I say roll the tape. This is why I say roll the tape, because definitely you're right. You are right. The repeal of Roe v. Wade, which happened in June 2022, um, eliminated the federal constitution right to abortion, returning the authority to regulate or ban abortion to the individual states. You're absolutely right. But you
Oh,
see
my
how
bad, man.
quick
I had to go pee.
you
I
see
had to go
how
pee.
you see how quick you could research facts.
Look, and that's a lesson for the folks that sit around and like him. That's and y'all both done been around when I had some people come up here about some certain shit. And the sad part, some of them they actually could have proved me wrong on it. But that's the thing that I'm like a lot of folks don't care to even research that. You went and Googled it real quick. Didn't even take your ass fucking goddamn 30 seconds. You went and Googled it to get some clarification. Why are so many other people sitting around arguing? Because I do it. I sat on here and had a debate. I think Hurricane was around for that, where I talked to one guy. He was talking about why 13% of the population commit 50% of the crimes. It's like, nigga, Google that, bruh. It wouldn't even take you 30 seconds. But the motherfuckers, they want the biggest thing is they want to believe this shit. But I'm hoping that I'm waking somebody's mind up. Like you said, roll the tape. Right. I want to wake y'all up to this sleight of hand, because right now we're talking about another modern sleight, and it's gonna be of hand. Watch this shit.
Modern sleight of hand is stealth taxation. Instead of raising income taxes directly, governments quietly tax through mechanisms like sales taxes, fuel duties, and most of all, inflation. When prices rise faster than wages, the gap is effectively a hidden tax on savings and purchasing power. Governments love inflation because it reduces the real value of their debts, but for citizens, it erodes financial freedom. You may feel richer because your salary is higher in nominal terms, but if your costs outpace your earnings, you are actually losing wealth. This is not a bug of the system. It is the system. Inflation is not simply an accident of economics. It is one of the most consistent tricks governments deploy to shift the burden of their spending onto you without ever admitting it. Then there's regulatory capture. On the surface, regulations are meant to protect the public, financial rules, safety standards, consumer protections. But time and again, history shows us that powerful industries influence the regulators meant to oversee them. Railroads in the 19th century, oil companies in the 20th, and tech and finance today all have shaped rules in their favor. This is the same dynamic the Peaky Blinders learned in miniature on the streets of Birmingham. Better to own the referee than to fight the game. Governments use regulation as a tool to appear protective, but behind the curtain, the largest corporations carve loopholes that keep competition down and profits flowing. The public sees protection, the insiders see profit. War finance is another old trick in new clothes. During World War I and World War II, governments issued massive amounts of bonds, telling citizens it was their patriotic duty to buy them. People thought they were supporting their nation, which they were, but these bonds also became lucrative, risk-free investments for the wealthy, guaranteed by future taxes. In the 21st century, the pattern remains. Trillions spent on wars in Iraq and Afghanistan were financed through debt, benefiting defense contractors, banks, and bondholders, while ordinary taxpayers shouldered the bill. The trick is that wars are always presented as temporary emergencies, yet the financial burdens last for generations, long after the soldiers have returned home. Governments also weaponize complexity itself as a financial trick. Tax codes thousands of pages long, financial instruments so complicated even professionals struggle to explain them, budgets filled with hidden line items and jargon. All of this creates an environment where ordinary citizens cannot possibly track how money is flowing. Complexity becomes camouflage. When you cannot see the transfer of wealth, you cannot resist it. In ancient Rome, debased coins were a physical sign of the trick. Today, it's balance sheets buried under acronyms and obscure programs. The trick is the same. Make it too complex for the public to follow and the transfer can proceed unnoticed. Why does this matter now? Because the tricks are alive and accelerating. Inflation eats away at your savings. Debt loads grow larger each year. Bailouts remain the reflex of choice whenever markets wobble. Central banks continue to manipulate money supply. While governments pass costs onto the public in forms so indirect, most people never connect the dots. The result is a system designed to keep you working harder for less real wealth, while the financial elite grows stronger. The lesson from history is not just that these tricks exist, but that
the real lesson is to pay attention to what's actually happening right now. We sent $40+ billion to Argentina the other day.
Right.
But supposedly we have an inflation problem. We have a deficit problem.
Yeah, that's where the $2 trillion is gone.
We need a hostile takeover, everybody. Let's speak in corporate terms. We need a hostile takeover because we didn't get a return on our investment of this motherfucking country. Because America's a goddamn corporation.
When you dumb down the population, and they did, like, I don't know what version this might be where they want to dumb it down some more because they don't want
Idiocracy.
they don't. Nah,
I
I agree
love
with
that movie.
idiocracy. No, I agree with the word, but I'm saying, like, I don't know what version of dumbing down the population we're on right now because, like, you know, the biggest push is, man, we don't want to talk about history when it pertains to black people. So I'm like, we've had so many versions of dumbing down the population where they don't even understand. Like, a lot of Americans don't understand they're worker ants to fund this corporation that's going on right now.
Here's a perfect example. The government was shut down for 43, 44 days or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
People still showed up to work unaffected. The gas prices fluctuated, but the grocery stores prices fluctuated, but everybody still did their part in this colony, in this anthill.
The problem is, and that's one way to look at it. That is one way to look at it, and I'm not gonna knock that.
Yeah.
The reason I would say why people did those things is because this economy is set up that if you don't get out there and get it, you're gonna die. If you don't fall into this system, because think about all the people that fight the system their entire life. They fight not assimilating to what the fuck this shit says it's supposed to do. We see those people. They out here begging for money. They're always out here in between jobs. You know, they probably got a couple kids, shit like that. They're always paycheck to paycheck. People that truly assimilate into it and understand what it is, those are the people that you see actually possibly getting some leg up.
Ignorance is bliss.
But that's what is taught, though. That's the part that I'm getting at. They are forcing the ignorance on people and then fucking punishing them for being ignorant. Like, you're not teaching fucking financial literacy. You're not teaching economic literacy. You're not teaching social literacy. You're teaching people to be ignorant.
Right. You're not teaching civics so you could understand a daggone word.
Look, I ain't started getting my shit going until I got into my fucking 30s. This is something I should have known coming out of high school. What I know now is what I should have known coming out of high school. And the main reason I say that is because they take our tax dollars from our parents, because we were kids during that time, and whatever little shit that money our parents gave us to spend on snacks and shit, you know, little Debbie cakes and shit.
Right.
But they took the taxes out of that shit because, you know, we gotta help everybody and fund all these programs, and they didn't teach us shit. They taught us bullshit, indoctrinated us to the history of this country that they want us to believe. They didn't teach us skills and trades that come out of this goddamn fucking system that they created and forced us. Because if your parents didn't take your ass to school, I promise you your parents is going to jail. I promise you your parents are going to jail.
Shit was real, nigga. They was pulling up on niggas like, nigga, why you not in school? Hey,
So you're
all right, better go lock your mama up.
They're forcing you. They're forcing your parents to send you into a system that's not teaching you something, that's not going to prepare you for the world. That's what I said. If I was in charge, dude, I'll revamp a lot of shit. Like the educational system is getting revamped right now. Because by the 10th grade, we're going to know if little Timmy or little Sarah is going to college or they need to get a job when they go into the public. So once we get to that point, I'm like, look, motherfucker, you can do it later if you want to, but I'm going to give you some skills in the meantime and you're going to be on a different curriculum than the kids that are going to college. They're going to be on a different curriculum. And if any of y'all want to switch, some of y'all might drop out of this and some of y'all might drop out of that. But guess what? You're going to graduate with that because we're at least going to say that we gave you 2 years out of all these fucked up years we gave you of indoctrination. But that's not the mindset of none of these senators, these politicians. No, nobody at the state level, the federal level, ain't none of them thinking about helping these people. They're all about keeping them dumb. That's why they talk about shit that doesn't fucking matter.
Hey, if you were in elected office, would you take the APAC money?
Hell to the nah. Fuck them fucking white people that claim to be something else. I don't like cosplayers. I don't like people that be pretending. I like people that keep it real. So I would not take their money. And the sad part, I would try not to take nobody money unless it came from my constituents. Like, that'd be the biggest thing. Like, these folks money hungry, bro.
You heard it first, folks. Vote for JVJ.
I ain't gonna be in the fucking country. You already know my plans are. I'm getting the fuck on. Fuck this shit. Y'all have fun with this, and people call me and quit all they want. I don't give a fuck. Bitch, look. If everybody else gonna be an individual and worry about themselves, well, guess what? My number one priority is me. I'm gonna worry about mine. And I'm getting the fuck on. I ain't got time for this shit, man. All I can do is sit over here and try to keep pushing the word that I think is true. And other people obviously will disagree with it. But for the people that agree, look, I'm trying to put something out there to give you some knowledge. Like, if you don't see it, you don't see it. You believe it's wrong, it's wrong. Okay, whatever. But at least ain't nobody gonna sit here and say I ain't trying. You can't say I ain't trying. But either way, though, let's try to finish out this last little bit right here, man. Because like he hitting the tricks, man. There's a lot of tricks.
They always return. When Rome debased its coins, citizens suffered. When monarchs forced loans, merchants lost fortunes. When modern states inflate and borrow, households bear the burden. Different ages, same mechanism. And here's the harsh truth. Most people will never escape these tricks because they don't even realize they're being played. They take inflation as natural, taxes as inevitable, and bailouts as acts of mercy. They believe government messaging instead of studying economic history. And that ignorance is the most powerful trick of all. When people forget the past, they cannot recognize its repetition. That is why governments and elites prefer a public uneducated in finance. Financial education is resistance. Economic history is a weapon. If you know the tricks, you're harder to manipulate. So what should you take away? First, always look beyond the headline. When governments announce stimulus, ask who profits first. When inflation rises, remember it is not just bad luck, it is policy. When regulations appear, ask who wrote them and who benefits.
Hold on, let me stop. Let me go back real quick. Let him say that again.
Away. First, always look beyond the headline. When governments announce stimulus, ask who profits first.
That part right there. Because you remember when they gave us the first stimulus check?
Yep.
Everybody got I think $1,200 or what? They got like $1,200 or something like that. Everybody got their first check. We started seeing all these reports started coming out. How did the Los Angeles Lakers organization benefit from that? How did and then these NFL teams, NBA teams, big multi-trillion-dollar companies were benefiting from it. And once the news got out, some of them gave the money back. Some of them just kept it. Said, fuck it, we're going to keep it. Who is actually benefiting from this? Like, you got these some people out here that I call super dummies talking about the big, beautiful bill and the tax cut that Trump gave the first time. It's like, yeah, look what he gave us. Who truly benefited from that? Your shit lasted for 4 years, just like this shit right now in this new big beautiful bill that's about to take your health care away. You're gonna only benefit from that tax cut for 4 years again. Who truly benefited? The motherfucker shit is permanent. And
yeah, man, that 50-year mortgage shit is a motherfucker. That 50-year mortgage shit.
Right, that motherfucker, you just locking yourself into working for your life. You working for the rest of your life. That's it.
Can you say interest rates? Can you say
interest rates? Slavery. You'll never get up out of it. You'll never get out from under it. It's slavery. It's financial slavery from the get-go. You'll never get out from under a 50-year fucking mortgage. That's fucking crazy. You'll never. Most y'all motherfuckers ain't even gonna live 50 years. They got you locked in. You locked in. You locked in on it. You signed your name on a dotted line. Like, dude, you really got to look at who benefited from this shit. And when you look at these things that they keep putting in place, yes, you might get some crumbs. And that's what that whole got people buying into, that trickle down economics dumb shit. If you give money to the rich, they'll spread it down to the poor. Bitch, how the fuck did the rich get more richer during COVID when the whole world shut down, but the poor got poorer? Like, make fucking sense. If you really look at the economic value of a lot of these companies, during COVID, they made more money than they were before. It was like, if you didn't know COVID happened, you was like, okay, oh, they hit a stride and they just started going up. It's like, no, COVID happened and they got all these government subsidies. But a lot of people don't want to Google it and don't want to look back at it. They don't give a fuck about it. They were cool with what was said during the time, and they take that as a word and they move on and just go on by their business. But I'm like, look, people after, people say something and they do something, time passes by, but then that gives people more time to actually look into it and figure out like, nah, bro, y'all was full of shit fucking 5 months ago. But people don't give a fuck after 5 months done passed. They don't care. They just, well, you just saying shit now. That's what I was told back then. That's why people still think somebody stole an election. It's like they still on that shit. They stole it. It's like, bro, they had like multiple court cases on that shit, bro. Ain't nobody steal no election. No, they stole it, bro. Fucking almost 5 years now, and people still saying that shit. It's crazy. I'm gonna let him finish it out.
When inflation rises, remember it is not just bad luck, it is policy. When regulations appear, ask who wrote them and who benefits. Second, build real wealth outside the traps. Assets that can hold value even when currency does not. Third, never assume the system works for you just because it says it does. Systems exist to protect themselves, not you. History doesn't repeat, but if you don't understand it, it will crush you all the same. The financial tricks that kept Roman citizens broke are the same ones draining your bank account today, only dressed in modern language. The only difference is whether you recognize them in time. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. History.
And I'm gonna give y'all an example of that because we ain't got too much time left, and I'm gonna keep grinding because I ain't trying to keep building like beating a dead horse.
Well, y'all not gonna believe this. We gonna talk about.
My bad. Hold up. Now I'm gonna show you exactly what the fuck I'm talking about because we needed to reopen the government. I tried to build these 3 videos to all circumvent to one area. Like, we all gonna get there when we get there. First, we talked about a promise, and then talked about the stipulations in between that promise and what was a promise and what is not a promise. Now we got into the tricks of how politicians do shit because I gave you an example of one of them. Now you understand the tricks now because we pointed out all of them. We needed to reopen the government, right?
Right.
That got one. Hurricane. We need to reopen the government, right? Okay, we ain't got Hurricane back here right now. He might be doing something. But from one side,
go ahead. What's up, though?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we needed to reopen the government. That was my question to you. Yes or no?
Did we need to reopen the government?
Yeah, yes
That's
or no?
the question. We need to burn it down. Real shit, I don't give a fuck if it's open or closed. We need to change this whole goddamn system. But like if I was to play the political game.
Yeah, play the political game.
Like open it up for the people.
All right.
Do it for the people.
So I want y'all to see the game, the trick. I want y'all to see the game and the trick that they played. Because they did reopen the government. And I want y'all to see, look, people were suffering. People were being harmed. They were losing their subsidies, their welfare. They wanted to put black women on the face of that shit, right? Even though more white people are on welfare,
Right.
Just the little games we play. We want to say that the Democrats are holding it up, but the Democrats are claiming that they're doing it to keep health care. The Republicans are saying that they're doing it to give illegals health care. It was a whole bunch of shit being fucking said to try to put the blame on somebody else. Well, with those 8 Democrats crossing party lines and actually voting with the Republicans, I want you to see what they allowed to happen with what all the Republicans did and those 8 Democrats signed up to. Because I don't think a lot of people know. Like, dude, I be trying to stay on top of this shit, and I be trying my best. Because it's the type of shit that I listen to all the time, and I try to keep track with it, and I try to double check it all the time. Shout out to the matter of fact, I don't know which channel we using for his, the Philip Scott's podcast. He's gonna tell you about what just recently happened with this the spending bill. You know, we need to do a just straight up CR to open up the government to make sure we can pay all our debts, well, at least the debts that we were gonna pay. You know, some of them we're not gonna fucking pay because that's why our deficit's so fucking high. But it was supposed to be so sanctimonious from the right. Watch what these motherfuckers did. I just want y'all to really pay attention to this, and if y'all don't get pissed off about this one, I'm gonna have to look at you funny. But don't feel no type of way if I look at you funny.
Well, y'all not gonna believe this. Well, what we gonna talk about tonight? Well, you know, they signed the bill in the Senate to open the government back up, and then, of course, the bill came to the House. Well, there were some concerns in the bill in the Senate because there are 8 senators that put in a provision where they can get paid $500,000 each particular instance. I want you to hear exactly what they would get paid for, and let's have this conversation. Let's go ahead and check this out.
I was very excited about coming back to Washington, D.C. to vote to open the government back up.
Now, I want y'all to make sure y'all understand this. This is a Republican out of Georgia in the 8th District, Valdosta, Tifton, and whatever the fuck that shit is, Ville. Republican Austin Scott. This is a Republican that actually had an issue with this when he saw this. So don't say it's this liberal shit coming out the left with, because I know I'm gonna get some of them people over here. It's like, oh, left, right, bitch. I don't fuck with either one of them parties. I think all y'all fucking corrupt. I just think Republicans are better at it. You got a Republican that's about to call this out, and I want y'all to listen to what he says.
And then when I saw what the Senate did last night, I'll be honest, I had a hard night, and I've been struggling with what the right vote is because of what the Senate did. And I want to just tell you, because I want American citizens to be able to read it. You can start at page 217 of the legislation where it says requiring Senate notification for disclosure of Senate data. And there's a lot of with respect to's and other things in the first pages. But when you get over to page 223, you'll see where they've created a private cause of action specifically for them. And it goes on and it says that cause of action, and this is on page 224, any senator whose Senate data or the Senate data of whose Senate office has been acquired, subpoenaed, searched, accessed, or disclosed in violation of this section may bring a civil action against the United States if the violation was committed by an officer, employer, agent of the United States, or of any federal department of agent or agency. Relief. If the senator prevails on a claim under this subsection, the court shall, not may, shall award for each instance of a violation of this section the greater of, not the lesser of, the greater of statutory damages of $500,000 or the amount of actual damages, reasonable attorney fees, cost of litigation, and it goes on from there. Now, there's other language in here, waiver of sovereign immunity, no qualified immunity, and there's other language in here too that indicates that each line would be an additional payment. And so most of us as members have a campaign phone, a campaign email, a personal phone, a personal email, and then a business phone and a business email. That's 6 violations the way they count. If they went for all of them, 6, minimum of $500,000 apiece. Now, I don't think, and I've been asking questions on this since last night. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think that Senate leadership shared with the leadership of the House what they were doing. Now, I want the Democrats to know this. My understanding is that Chuck Schumer was very much aware and signed off on this particular language as well. So just, y'all might want to ask questions about that. I'm just telling the truth on this. Is as soon as I found out about it, I started asking questions. But they're saying, well, the executive branch shouldn't be checking up on the legislative branch. Well, there's some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to it. I believe in the separation of powers. and they talk about it being good governance. The thing that I can't get past, though, and this is, again, I mean, for the American citizens, if you go to page 227 of the bill, limited retroactive applicability. In general, the amendments made by this section shall apply to any acquisition, subpoena, search, accessing, disclosure of Senate data as defined in Section 10A of the Legislative Branch Appropriations Act 2005, and to any failure to disclose such an acquisition, subpoena, search, accessing, or disclosure occurring on or after January 1 of 2022. So it's given them the ability to retroactively go back. We know, you literally know who, at least, we may not know all of them, but we at least know the list of some of them. In this paragraph, the term violation section 10 is the meaning given to the violation section. It goes on from there. But
I want y'all to really understand the audacity of these people to play in your face. Like, they sat around and did all this woo-woo stuff, and you say whether it's Democrats or Republicans, and he said Chuck Schumer signed off on it, so you know Democrats are implicated in it too. Dude, if you were investigated, at all, and you know you got your campaign, your regular government, and your personal phones, emails, and whatever the hell else, and they investigated, they looked into all of that for every individual time they looked into your shit. If somehow you were proven innocent, you're awarded the bare minimum of $500,000 from the federal government. That's what he's getting at right now. And somebody wrote this in here. And I'll be honest with you, we know who the fuck wrote these bills. Because we had one side that was trying to get it pushed and another side that was trying to hold off on it. But then with one side caved like the pussies they always are. We know who wrote that shit into that shit. And he's on their side and he's actually questioning it. But he ain't done though. Let him finish out.
There's also language in there where it indicates that each account is a separate payment. Now, this language did not go through any committee markup. This language was not shared with the House of Representatives prior to it being put in the bill. And I personally agree that it should be removed. The problem is if we remove it, the Senate, it has to go back to the Senate. And then you're right back to where you were 40 days ago, where all of a sudden you're trying to get a piece of legislation out of the Senate. And so, I mean, I've struggled. I want you to know that, Mr. Cole. I want the American citizen. I've struggled with whether.
Think about this. He's struggling. He saw the bullshit. He saw the bullshit that they put in there, the greed and corruption to get money out of folks, and get money from the taxpayers, and he's struggling whether he should vote on it, yes or no. And that's that conflict.
This is my own people doing this, man. This is my own people doing this. I know what to do. I'm conflicted.
No, it's the brainwashing that we've all had, because I bet money we've all said this. Man, you know, I didn't like the candidate, but man, I voted for the lesser of two evils.
Oh yeah, oh my God, I used to hear that all the time.
That's the brainwashing. It's like, nah, we ain't voting for none of that.
They both evil.
For none of that. But he's sitting here, he's contemplating it, whether he should vote for the spending bill to keep the government open, well, to reopen the government at this point, knowing that this bullshit is in here. That I will give him props for opening his mouth and saying something about it, but you know he ended up voting for it because the government's opening.
Oh, that $500,000.
Maybe he gonna try to do something that can get him investigated.
He might get clipped. You know, politics is dangerous.
I'm like, maybe I'm thinking about it from a fucked up position, but he's calling out a clause that they put into the spending bill. This bill is supposed to be able to open up the government so the government can pay its debts, because that's what a spending bill is about. It's for the government to pay its debts. Now, sometimes do they add, and honestly, they do it every time. I ain't even gonna say sometimes. They always do add in other things to a spending bill to get certain other priorities done, because at that time, that might be pertinent for that time period. It's like,
Right.
hey man, we need some relief here and there for a hurricane might have hit
But
here.
if you look at it this way, maybe it's a cause not to investigate, for the penalties would be so great.
But it's the federal government. The federal government's not spending their money. So it's kind of null and void because they're gonna just spend the taxpayers' money.
Right.
Like here, if you could get in trouble, you could be fined for such and such, and I'm not your boss, but you have access to my money. Like, look, we're gonna charge you $1,000 if you keep on talking about what's going on over here. You're like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. I ain't gotta pay it. It comes out of my pocket, and you have no penalty. Why wouldn't you do it?
Well, that's just the special benefit that position has as an offer. But in smaller constituencies,
It's the federal
and
government.
yeah, it is a federal spending bill, spending budgets and all that. But I don't know if it would have the same legislation translate to local governments somewhere in there.
No,
The
it's
bill
not for
seems
them.
pretty
No, it's not for
lengthy.
them. Yeah,
The bill
it
seems
ain't.
pretty
You're right.
lengthy.
It ain't for them. It ain't for the people in the state level, but for senators and
Yeah,
House of Representatives, if they're investigated for whatever the hell, and
right,
it didn't even. It's not even stipulating, but I'm putting in there that obviously that there no criminal charges came from it for
right,
every piece of data that they tried to grab, whether
right,
it comes to your cell phones or emails or whatever the hell. They can be awarded $500,000 at the bare minimum for each one of them.
right.
I'm not saying that applies to your governors or nothing like that, or
Did he
your
say where it's going? Did he say if it's going to personal accounts or back to the
no.
constituents?
This is their reparations for being investigated. That's pretty much what they're getting at. And look, and when we go a little bit further into the video, Phil's gonna break it down a little bit more, but he's actually not even done talking. The senator is not even done talking. Representative's not talking. Like that dude, this is a Ponzi scheme in broad daylight. And they did it under the guise of we need to open up the government to help the people, but we're gonna also make sure we can put some money in our pocket. That's pretty much what's going on right now.
Yeah,
And it's been going on for the longest. So, hey, we gave y'all a tax cut. The average American, we gave you a tax cut, but we made the ones for the billionaires permanent. Yours expires in 4 years. The shit that I was talking about earlier. That's how they got motherfuckers. Oh, he gave the American people a tax cut. Your shit expires the month, like a couple months after he gets out of office. So then when you ain't got that tax cut no more, the motherfucker gonna be like, yo, it's the other party's problem. It's like, no, bitch, you set it up that way. Either way, though, I'm gonna let him keep talking.
Right course of action here is because what they did is wrong. This should not be in this piece of legislation. And they can say it's about good governance all they want to. When they made it retroactive, then all of a sudden it was no longer about good governance. There's actually a list of people that know.
Oh, my bad. And I forgot about that part. And they set it up to go all the way back to 2022 when we're in 2025. So some of them folks that actually was in on it knew that, yeah, I had been investigated and they didn't bring no full charges against me because, the government ain't going to really charge government officials like that for real. They never really do. It's like, yeah, I can get some bread out of this because they looked into my shit too. That could be fucking, that could be up to fucking, at the bare minimum, $500,000 per. Let's say if somebody really got investigated and all they had was 3 cell phones, 3 emails, and 3 campaign shits, that's fucking 9. 9 times 5 is what? They could get about $4.5 million from the citizens. It's like, okay, but either way though, yeah. And I forgot to say something about that retroactive shit because he really did say that retroactive. They cool with retroactive for what the fuck happened to them, but black folks can get no retroactive for nothing in this country. Okay, either way though, I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
They will get paid as soon as this thing is signed. At least they've got the coupon where all they have to do is go file at the courthouse and get paid. And
there it is, right there.
I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do. My gut is because of the way this place is so dysfunctional now that the right thing to do is to get the government cut on as soon as possible and make sure that the American citizens are watching what those senators do and hold them to account for what they did. And at the same time, the House put legislation out that actually reverses what the Senate has done. They should vote on this in the light of day. If they think this is the right thing to do, then they should have a committee meeting and a straight up or down vote on it. Don't hold my people who work in my district at Robins Air Force Base paycheck
Right.
any longer than it's already been held. And so I want you to know, Mr. Cole, you're our chair. I respect you tremendously, as much as I respect anybody in this house, and as much as, I mean, I can take everybody I ever met. I have tremendous respect for you. You are a man of integrity and honesty. And when you tell me you didn't know, I trust you. And when Mike Johnson, when I'm asking questions about it at 9 o'clock last night, I don't think our side knows. I think the Dems and the Republicans in the Senate do, though. I do. I want you to know that. And but this is, I mean, American citizens just need to read it, and they can figure out for themselves. It's not that hard. It's big letters. It starts on 217. It ends on 228. It won't take you 10 minutes to read it, and you really can pretty much start where the private cause of action is.
I'm gonna let y'all know I read this shit. It's
that
in
would
there.
never pass if that was a standalone piece of legislation.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know that was a long video, but I want you to hear.
So right there, and I'll let y'all know I read that shit. And for anybody that don't believe that what was said so far is true, go fucking read it.
Yo, I'm reading from the Epstein files, dog. I did the first 20 pages on my recent live before this shit, bro. Yo, nigga, reread that shit, y'all. We don't be bullshit. We do our due diligence, y'all.
Like, these motherfuckers just threw in some shit, and it's really funny because he's in the House and he's not in the Senate. So he wanted to give all, like, with all due respect, I believe you are a righteous man and didn't know about this when we all voted on it. But I don't trust none of them in the Senate, and the Democrats and the Republicans in the Senate. Man, bitch, shut the fuck up. Plausible deniability. That's what you just played on me. I'm not dumb. Been around here, done met too many people to understand what the fuck you just did. I know what you just did. You're trying to give yourself off as if you're doing the right thing, and I believe he is doing the right thing by calling it out. But you also voted on it in retrospect because this is before you, like, dude. And that lets me know, because he's saying that he didn't truly read the bill until after the bill passed. He voted on a bill that he didn't read because it went to the House and the Senate. Like, what gets me is that we as Americans right now in America are okay with the setup in the system. Like Hurricane, I know you talking about break it all the way down. And honestly, sometimes I really be on that type of time. I really do. I'm like, burn this shit the fuck down because these bitches playing. But in this situation right here, just to alleviate this problem that we have right now, he says that these people are elected and sent in there to argue on the behalf of their constituents. We have technology to let our constituents argue without you being there. If we want to truly be efficient, why aren't we fucking electing any of y'all senators or anything? We can have government employees. They already have control over our phones. I don't know if people know that. They know what the fuck you looking at on your phone. You just probably not a high risk. They probably got other people they trying to get at. That little weird ass porn you be looking at on your phone and all that little weird shit you be doing on your shit. They know what you're doing. They got access to it. You just not know high priority. They have access to be able to get everybody's phone, send them a message, because they do it every time there's a national disaster, a child missing. Is it amazing that they always send you an Amber Alert? Is it amazing that they let you know a hurricane is coming in your area? Is it amazing they let you know there's an armed shooter somewhere in your city? You don't think they have access to your shit? If they have that much access, every time there's an issue that we need to vote on, when it pertains to what Americans want, we don't need one singular person voting on it.
The crazy thing about that point is The technology is there. You gotta answer. You want to answer the calls. You want to answer the text. Give us an opportunity to speak. But at the same time, it sounds like you're asking for there be a AI chatbot somewhere in the loop instead of a human.
No, well, here, we need to have these federal employees, because here, all these senators have aides that work for them. Senators, House of Representatives, they have aides.
Right.
They're not covering every issue. They're pretty much just like the coach. The coach has the quarterback coach, wide receiver coach, running back coach, defensive coach, lineman, tackles, whatever the fuck. They all report to him and let him know what the situation is when it comes to each position when it pertains to the team. That's what these senators need to be. They need to be a coach.
Right.
And then when there are people who will gather the information, the votes from each district and area that they represent, let them know they can, if they're supposed to be our representative, they make the final decision. Now, if it's 49, like 50 to 49, and some people be like, how the hell can you get that? Because, you got a margin of error. But, if you have certain close things like that, we actually rely on you to make the final decision. But we have the technology for
wait. You talking about a republic, not a democracy, right?
No, it would be a democracy, but it's a
Sounds
democratic
like a republic
republic.
to me.
No, we live in a democratic republic. I'm giving everybody a vote, and if it's so close within a margin, like so close where you can't tell which side it actually was, like the example I gave, 50 to 49, but there's always a 3% margin of error, I'll leave it up to the representative. But if it's a situation where it's goddamn 63 to goddamn 30 whatever the fuck, like obviously you go with the 63. Like you automatically should. But look, we obviously live in a democratic republic right now because it doesn't even matter what the electoral college, it doesn't matter what the popular vote. The popular vote is just a joke anyways. I don't even understand why people even bring that up. But because that doesn't matter. It comes down to electoral college. And by law, the electors do not have to vote the way that the citizens voted. Like you can have 70% of an area vote to say vote for the Republican candidate. That elector can still vote Democrat if he want to, or she wants to.
Now you
So it's
talking
like
high level stuff right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we ain't doing surface level.
That people just might not understand. They might be like, so then why the hell am I voting for then?
That's why it's a trick bag. It's a trick bag, and that's why I tell people to keep advocating for what they actually should get, because you got to reverse the system that was already set up ahead of time. We didn't have any say-so in the system that we were born into. All we can do is try to change the system that we have. And we've had a lot of people that came throughout history that tried to change it. MLK, Malcolm X, JFK. A lot of people have tried to change the system. Even Abraham Lincoln to a certain extent, even though I don't think he did it for good reasons. But, he tried to change the system. We need to change it even more. It's not done. Either we're going to change it or we're going to have to go hurricane route.
My way is inevitable, but we watched all the empires fall during this same motherfucking monetary system. So we're just watching it collapse. It's just like shit, let's watch it collapse and eat the popcorn, or let's start this revolution, because all these niggas talking shit. We're going to force them to go to the underground bunkers, and then I'm going to seal their ass in with some cement. They'll never get out. Stay in them bunkers, y'all, forever.
I ain't gonna hold you,
blooded.
I want y'all to hear Phil. I want y'all to hear Phil, because we're going to go over our 2-hour limit anyways tonight. I want y'all to hear Phil real quick, and I want y'all to hear his breakdown on it, because some people might not truly understand. I know the way that I communicate sometimes. I think a different way, so it might not convey on other people. So I want Phil, I think he does a better job at actually conveying the information across. I want y'all to understand what we just listened to. Not y'all on the panel. I'm talking about y'all in the chat. Anybody that's listening. I want y'all to hear what he got to say.
Hear it in its entirety. Yes, they put in the bill that they signed, and this bill is going directly to the president to open the government back up. So these 8 senators is going to get a payday the moment that President Trump signed that bill to open the government back up. Now, that is the most corrupt thing ever. It's extremely corrupt. They put it in the bill to open up the government, and they do that all the time. And you wonder why they become so rich. You wonder why. Why we talked about this so many times, how they get this job and they never leave it, and yet they become so much. And listen, this money is going to come from taxpayers. It's going to come from my taxes and your taxes. It's not coming from no private companies or anything like that. So they're taking our tax dollars instead of appropriating money to the federal workers. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking that money and say we need to hire more air traffic controllers. No. They're worrying about paying out themselves. Like they need that kind of money anyway. You know how many people are investigated for crime? And because they was investigated for a potential crime, they can get paid for it. Every instance that they looked into their phones or whatever, that is pure corruption. Every bit of it. These people should be impeached out of their seats for this.
And
you understand what I'm
deleted.
saying? That's what I say. This is straight up corruption. But if there had been a black senator did this or a black congressman did this, oh, they'll figure out a way to charge them and get them out them seats. They'll complain about it. But why aren't you bringing up investigation and corruption charges on them? Well, that's corrupt. I'm sorry, that's corrupt. There's people that get investigated all the time.
Yeah, they grab Ben Carson real quick.
Investigate. So just because they access your stuff in an investigation, you should get paid for it? Well, if that's the case, every person in the United States should get paid by their city, their state, and the government if they took your phone and investigated it and how many times they went into it. And let's say, you didn't do anything at the end of the day, then hey, okay, you should get paid $500,000 each instance.
Yeah, sue your ass.
But they won't do that. That's why people are sick and tired of these people. They're too corrupt. I mean, they just being upfront with the corruption now. This is why nothing gets done. This is why these people never want to leave those seats. It's too good for the corruption. It's too good for the money. But yeah, they want to talk about African countries being corrupt. That is straight up what an African country would do. A lot of them African politicians doing things to be corrupt. But yet, them same people in Washington be calling the African country corrupt. These people are so corrupt. Y'all got to get all these people out of there just for the corruption aspect. They're way too corrupt. And these bills, let me tell you something about these bills. I don't care if that bill got 900 pages. You know what we have now? AI. AI can literally go through those bills and find everything in them. And it won't take long at all. And you use certain models, the ones that think more deeper and more reasoning, they'll really be thorough. You know what I'm saying? The American people, you start looking at these bills that they're passing, download them, put it in the chat GPT or whatever you're using. But the higher models, though, the ones that's going to think and reason a little bit more, and look for that corruption in these bills and start bringing this out to the American people. Say, hey, look, in this page, they're doing this for this company. In this page, they're doing this for that company. It's a lot of, they always talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. A lot of waste, fraud, and abuse is happening by these senators and these other Congress people. Like I said, all of them need to go. It's not just one of them. All of them need to go, and they need to start from scratch. Just start from scratch. But like I said, the black ones could never get away with it. Never. And we all know this. They will never get away with it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Do you want your tax dollars going to this? Out of all the issues that's going on, these people are benefiting, getting paid off of this shutdown. That's just beyond me. That's beyond me. And I think the people in America need to be raised in hell about them need to be thrown out of the Senate. All 8 of them need to be thrown out. Those Republicans that did that, they need to be thrown out. This should not go away. And now Trump was about the right thing. Trump wouldn't even sign it. Trump, if he was right, but he ain't for the right thing. But if he was, he was like, I'm not signing this until y'all take that out. But Trump's not gonna do that. You know how that is. But let me know what y'all think about that.
Yeah, look, I want to know what y'all think about it right now, because
well, Trump wanted to be the hero to get the government back open, because that's a better look in the long run.
Yeah, and that's why I want to say people need to be tapped in, because he knows people will have that mindset.
Right.
Look, he got it back open. But at the same time, he was literally in court fighting to make sure people that got Section 8, food stamps, WIC, couldn't get their shit while it was shut down. Like he was advocating for that when we got money in goddamn escrow sitting there for this exact situation. He's part of the party that wrote that shit into the bill to get the government open. Like, okay, y'all, like that's why I say Democrats are fucking stupid, bro. Like these bitches, they some dumb motherfuckers, bro. They have no backbone, and it shows you that all these years I've been saying they two sides of the same coin. Like it just gets proven more and more and more each day. You had
the wings of the same bird. Yep.
Yeah, like for real. It's like, dude, y'all signed off on that shit. Y'all didn't get nothing but a so-called promise. Bitch, what's the value of a promise from a liar?
Right.
What's the
Let's pull the
value of it?
emotional heartstrings, y'all. Let's use our tactics we've been using for over 45 years. Pull the emotional heartstrings.
Dude, I sat right in my dad's face and told him, and I know he's a federal worker. I was like, dude, I want them to keep this bitch shut down. If that's the narrative that y'all want to go with, that the Democrats are keeping it shut down, I want them to keep it shut down. Because I know what's about to fucking happen in January, December, late December and early January. I know what's about to happen to a lot of people. And I'm not cool with that. But these fuckers don't give a fuck. And regardless of what they believe, Democrats have more money on average. Like the average Democrat has more money than Republicans. Most Republicans are on government subsidies. They're on Medicaid. No, they're on Obamacare. They're about to find out. So all you're going to do is hurt your own constituents, thinking that, and they're so stupid that they think they're sticking it to the people on the left. It's like, bro, it's death from within. Like, bro, it's like y'all are your own cancer. These are white people's problems. White people fighting white people, and you're gonna kill this country from the inside because of y'all selves. You started off on a bad note, and you're gonna end off on a bad note. Just throwing it out there for you.
It's like all empires crumbled in the system. It's like it's the same bullshit. And they don't even fucking
empires. Oh, make sure we say that right, Hurricane. They're empires.
Yeah, they're empires. Just how they empires fall. It's like they don't understand. Or maybe there's some motherfucking reptilian at the top that's pulling the strings of everything. Like, yes, let's play both sides of the chessboard real quick. But that's a real crazy conspiracy, y'all. Don't mind me. but real shit, people are just fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid.
And it's all about design. And I want you to look. If you think that was stupid, do either one of y'all know who Megyn Kelly is?
Yeah, that's the white reptilian bitch that be on was it Fox or MSNBC? And I forgot.
I think she was on MSNBC too. I think she did her rounds. I think she did her rounds on TV. She was the one who said Santa is white and Jesus is white. She was that lady. Yeah, I think that's what she's more. Well, hell, at least that's what I know her for. Look, Santa can be white, bitch. I don't give a fuck about that. But Jesus was
right, because they ain't come to the projects, nigga. Because I was struggling all about like that nigga ain't come down my chimney, nigga. I'm like Roddy from the Boondocks. Like, nigga, fuck that nigga. He gonna pay what he owe.
Like real shit.
Dear Santa, you a bitch ass nigga.
If y'all think that what that like, and that shit right there is just egregious when it comes to like the finances of us as Americans and the corruption that we see in our federal government. But I want you to understand how we even got to that point. Like we already showed how the corruption shit works and how they change the name of things and keep doing the same game plan. But now you also got to see the propaganda side, the people, the mouthpieces. And I want y'all to understand why you had a group of people who were supporting campaigns, well, a campaign where we said that we wanted to stop child predators, you know, because that's really a good thing to do, stop these grown men and women, because they always want to make the man seem like that's what it is. But most of the time it is a dude, majority of the time. But there are women out here that these teachers are touching these kids. We want to stop that from happening. We want to stop these kids from being defiled at a young age by people who can't seem to get dick or pussy in their age group because they just lame. I'll just put it like that. You fucking lame and you're weird too. And you probably need to be shot. But outside of that, I want you to see how amazingly that somebody who is a staunch right winger against everything that happened with the Epstein shit. I want y'all to see this 360. And we gonna end after this, y'all. But I want y'all to see this. And I ain't gonna lie, it's probably gonna get you hyped up because I'm going to the Amazing Lucas. I need to stop calling him the Amazing Lucas.
Oh my goodness.
I just don't even feel right every time
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, man. My goodness. Yeah, like I don't like saying that shit because I don't like calling no other man amazing. But that's his channel name. But either way, though, I want y'all to see this. And before we get into it, I do got to say, do either one of y'all got any thoughts before I get into this? Because it's about to be something crazy about. Yeah, it's about to be wild.
All I gotta say is, fuck the government and everything they stand for, and the ones above them and below them in the underground cities. I don't know, but yeah, you can roll the tape.
All right, Jobs would rotate too. All right, here we go.
Right.
Oh, my bad. I ain't had the volume up. All right, let's go back. My bad. Let me go back.
Of evil,
right.
Lineage of evil.
It's about to get bad, and I'm actually gonna let it play, y'all.
So there was one point in time that I used to believe that, hey, no matter you're Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent, no matter your philosophy, your political beliefs, doesn't matter, that we can all agree that messing with kids is bad. Whether they kids, teens, children, whatever you want to call them, that messing with them was bad, okay? Any type of sexual deviancy with these individuals was a bad thing, that we can all agree that's bad. You need to go to the sun. That's what needs to happen. You need to be locked up. You need a chair. You need an injection, whatever. It seems that all of us agree on this, except MAGA.
Come on now, dog.
I don't know what to tell you, but this is a surefire way to know that you're in a cult. If you happen to be on the side where you're trying to run obstacle for, or you're trying to explain when it comes to someone messing with kids, you may be in a cult. I don't know what to tell you. Or you are just completely morally bankrupt. But it really goes to show that Trump is actually right when it comes to his support. How he's talking about how he can shoot someone in the middle of the day and he wouldn't lose a single vote.
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
I used to believe that was hyperbole, but now seeing how they're responding to actual...
And I want y'all to understand what he's doing. He's showing examples. That's where the boys got it from. They got it from the Trump saying that. That's where they literally got it from. He's showing examples and he's going to show it in real time of this mindset. And then I'll tell you the narrative ahead of time of what it's going to be.
Racism.
Some people, no, it's not even that. Not in this case, but
okay, cool.
There's some folks in the MAGA movement, and majority of the MAGA movement is okay with people touching kids. That's pretty much the point. Now, are there some people in it that are not? I agree, they are. There definitely is. But majority of that movement is okay with people touching kids. And he's going to show his examples throughout this.
Innocent kids being attacked. I genuinely believe that. I believe that these people are done. They are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They need to be gone, bro. They need to be going to a different country, a different planet, because we can't live around people who are trying to co-sign abusing the youth. They want to talk about transgender. They want to talk about the LGBT propaganda. I hear you, but all of that, okay, if you want to scream all of that, oh, they're abusing the kids, they're trying to, brainwashing them. If you believe all that, but then when we have a whole bunch of evidence of what people are doing on an island of trafficking these individuals, women and children, and you don't care about it anymore, You can miss me with that nonsense, all right? You can miss me completely with that nonsense.
A distraction.
Just ridiculous.
This whole Epstein Files thing, it's a little bit played out.
And I think it's a moment in time where it should be a sobering effect on millions of people to understand that we don't have news. This is not news. This is mere entertainment / propaganda.
He's out of line, but he's right.
I never thought in a million years, listen to me, I'm being genuine. I never thought in a million years that when it came to uncovering a child trafficking ring, that there would be a United States president who would say, don't worry about it.
Because it's a Democrat hoax. That's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax.
They ran on, hey, we're going to release the files. We're going to release the files. Dan Bongino, freaking Cash Patel. Oh, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We know that that's not what happened to Epstein.
Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. Why is the FBI protecting the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
Some governments around the world may have some material that's related to the Epstein thing. Bill Clinton was knee deep in this, man.
So that was a fucking lie.
As soon as they get sworn in, as soon as they sit their butts in the chair, well, yeah, that is the story. That's what happened. He did it to himself. That's what happened. You got Pam Bondi. Yeah, the files are on my desk. Well, I meant that metaphorically speaking, and bruh, this should really show you that America is really no different than a lot of other countries. And I mean that in a way not to say, oh, I hate America. I mean that in a way to say, like, the way many Americans view America, we should probably take a few steps back. we should probably just be a little more calm and sober with our understanding of how this country is run. Because really the only difference is it's not in the public. You may go to Russia and other places, and if you do something, they'll execute you right in the public, right? They'll chop off your head in the public, like, hey, this is why this person's getting their tongue removed. This is what's going on. In America, they're a little more, I don't know, it's a little more entertainment, right? Oh, Princess Diana got in a car accident. Oh no, he ate some bad tuna and died. Oh, that's so sad, right? That's where we are. And leave it to Trump to really even remove that veil. The emperor is butt naked, and they're telling everyone he has clothes on. You have Jesse Waters, saying that, hey, why do we care about old emails?
For a party that claims to care about affordability, they sure waste a lot of time on old emails.
You don't need to see his identification.
I'm sorry, what? You're saying literally, verbatim almost, the same thing that people were talking about when it came to Hillary Clinton's emails, okay? The same thing. What do we care about emails? Like, so what? What does it matter? That's what they're saying. But the big difference is that this has to do with children, fam. This has to do with trafficking. And they're trying to downplay emails, bruh. From regarding trafficking. You have Trump in one of the emails talking about, hey, he may have, gave some sloppy top to Bubba. I don't know who Bubba's referring to, but what you mean you giving sloppy top to Bubba and they got videos of this and it's like, hey, does Putin have Trump giving?
Just a sick world we're living in, sick people.
Because you have even Epstein talking about, hey, this guy is the worst thing ever. He's talking about Trump. Now, how bad do you have to be for a child trafficker to say that, hey, you are the worst thing ever, you ain't got a good cell in your body? What? And you still screaming, man?
I want y'all to understand that, like, them emails came out, and it says, from Jeffrey Epstein, his account, in 2017, to Larry Summers. All right, so Larry, you on the hook too. Recall, I've told you. Obviously, something got redacted in between right here. I have met some very bad people. Some got recalled. None, which obviously this motherfucker can't write because he had misspelled a lot of words. None as bad as Trump. Some got redacted. Not one decent cell in his body. So yes, dangerous. It's a lot of redactions in between here. So obviously they're trying to protect whatever the hell was said in between this shit. But just off of this right here, you don't think he's a good person. And he's the guy that was trafficking children. The guy that traffics children doesn't think the guy that happens just to be around him is, he don't think he's a good person. It's like, shit, he's a really bad person. It's like, dude, you know what you're doing, right? And you still think that he's a bad person. Okay. But, either way, though, neither here nor there. Because I know a lot of people didn't pause the video and read that shit when Lucas put it out there.
You are the worst thing ever. You ain't got a good cell in your body. What? And you still screaming MAGA? Huh? You know what? When I see stuff like this, it leads me to a dark area, bro. It leads me to a dark area. I'm not gonna lie. Where it's like, it seems that all the conspiracies that people are talking about the government and how they planted this and how they did that, and how blackmail is so important and such a viable means of leverage, it's starting to feel like a bit real, okay? Because I think we all forgot what happened to Matt Gaetz. And the person he was messing with was 17. And she was trying to get braces. This chick was selling her body to get braces, fam. This is where we're at. And you saw the cover they tried to do for Matt Gaetz. When I think about all this trafficking, okay, when I think about the Epstein and everything, you can't tell me.
Oh, yeah, we really can't forget about that Matt Gaetz shit. Y'all notice how that just went away? We all, like that Matt Gaetz stuff, like, dude, they had his Cash App payments and everything. They was having Senate hearings, and then as soon as he stepped down, it was like, oh, we'll just let it go. Why do you think so many people are okay with just letting it go? We had his Cash App payments. Like, we had his Cash App payments. That
nigga is guilty. Got the rope right here.
Yeah, I'm okay. Look, either way though, let's keep going.
That people in Congress, okay, our representatives don't know anything about this. Damn. You can't tell me that many of these people, whether Republican or Democrat, are not the same people who are aiding and abetting this trafficking. Damn. It's like George Carlin said, it's a big party. You're not involved. I don't want to be part of this party, to be honest. I don't want it to have anything to do with that. I want to be on the same block of this party. But Trump is such a white ignorant that he knows that, what are you going to do? What you going to do? They can't do anything because they go into the same parties that I'm going to. They doing the same stuff that I'm doing. So they ain't going to do anything against me. And what the American people going to do? Y'all not going to do anything.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Unless you about that revolution, unless you really about that 1776 life, shut up and dribble.
Come on, man.
And it gets to the point where you have Megyn Kelly. She goes on, and I don't know, man. I'm flabbergasted, bro. I get if she, you.
I ain't gonna bullshit. When he showed you this shit with Megyn Kelly, y'all, this is the most appalling shit ever. Like, this is appalling. Especially for her situation of leaving Fox News. This is very appalling of Megyn Kelly to say this. And this is why I be like, some of these people ain't got no soul. But y'all don't say that. Just listen to this real quick.
Want to, rub elbows with Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and the conspiracy and, they got Charlie Kirk. I get that, right? It's all for clicks. It's all for money at the end of the day. Money makes the world go round. But to the point where you're trying to downplay Epstein, because that's exactly what she did. She tried to say, oh, well, I have on good authority. I have people who know all about the case, not everything, but a good chunk.
As for Epstein, I've said this before, but just as a reminder, I do know somebody very, very close to this case who is in a position to know virtually everything. Not everything, but virtually everything.
What can anyone say to her once she says, well, I know somebody who knows about the case? You can't ask her for a source, right? Well, who are your sources? She's not gonna tell you who your source is. And you can't deny that, well, you don't know these people. Who are you to say that, right? Who are you? She's Megyn Kelly. You can't tell her what she knows, who she knows, and who she doesn't know. So she's already set herself up in a position where you can't dispute what she's saying. It's a similar tactic that Candace Owens goes and does all the time. Well, I know, I have it on good account from people from TPUSA, and yet, regardless, she goes on and says, well, that Epstein really wasn't into children, right? He was more into a barely legal 15-year-olds.
And this person has told me from the start, years and years ago, that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. This is this person's view, who was there for a lot of this, but that he was into the barely legal type. Like, he liked 15-year-old girls.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, pause for a second. I'm unaware in anywhere in the United States of America where a 15-year-old is considered barely legal. Huh? I don't know what the heck she is talking about. I don't. It's not even a funny situation. But when you refer to a
I want y'all to notice something.
You threw a funny fucking meme with it. Somebody's not a funny situation, but you threw a funny meme with it. Don't get the fuck out of here.
Nah, but I want you to notice something. When Megyn Kelly said barely legal, and she said 15. The way that this media shit plays, none of y'all said nothing. You notice that? That's the brainwashing. Because a 15-year-old ain't fucking legal.
We appalled altogether with the whole conversation.
It didn't garner a reaction. And that's how they get away with it. Because the brainwashing that we all have gotten. That's why ain't nobody say nothing. A 15-year-old ain't fucking legal. Hey, think about that. A 15-year-old ain't legal. She said he wasn't a pedo. He was into the barely legal 15-year-olds.
Well,
like, bitch, what are you talking about?
Lucas said what we was thinking. He said,
"What? Crazy."
Yeah.
Most people ain't gonna open their mouth and say nothing about it, and that's the crazy part. That's why I got him up here to do it. I got him up here to do it tonight because I'm like, what the fuck is a barely legal 15-year-old?
Even Soldier Boy came on and said, "What?"
That motherfucker said, "Huh?"
For real.
Hey, look, matter of fact, let's get Soldier back in here one more time.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
That's the one he should have played. That's the one he should have played. Either way, don't let it keep going. Megyn Kelly think a 15-year-old. Okay, whatever the fuck.
But you see the symbolism around the interviewer's neck, right? Watch the symbolism.
I just want people to understand what they're aligning themselves with when they align with that group of people, because this is
Watch the symbolism.
We're gonna see it.
15-year-old as barely legal. Boo boo, we should be checking your hard drives, okay? We should be looking at your phone records. That's what we should be doing, okay? She should be under investigation. But the problem is, who's going to investigate her? Kash Patel? Dan Bongino, who's all in on the official story for Epstein? Is that what you telling me? Damn, what do you do then? Huh? Who watches the Watchmen? Who policed the police? The police? So that's already a red flag right there because a 15-year-old isn't barely legal. That's illegal, okay, boo? 18 would be barely legal, right? 18-year-old would be barely legal. Anything before that, you are illegal. I don't know what to tell you. I find it very fascinating that the same people who can tell an illegal from a legal when it comes to citizenship, when it comes to birthright, now all of a sudden when it comes to age, they're like, well, what's really legal, okay? What does this mean to be an adult? What does it mean to be a child? And I'm like, y'all sound eerily, familiar, similar to what you said the Democrats were trying to push, was the whole MAPS, right? The minor person, attracted persons. Y'all sounding very, very similar to them. And I'm just, it's a little off-putting. Not gonna lie, it's not a little, it's a lot.
Brother,
You're hypocrites, but you're not even hypocrites for the benefit of the country. You're hypocrites to the detriment of the country, to the detriment of millions of children. Moving past that, as hard as it may be, it gets worse. Because then she goes on to say, well, he was more attracted to like the teens who could pass as if they were younger, but when you looked at them, they looked like they were legal.
And I really want y'all to hear. She did say this. Y'all are about to hear this. She's gonna say literally what he just said. They look like they were young. Look, this ain't even no symbolism right here. This is just talking out both sides of your fucking neck. She's gonna say they look younger, but they can pass for older. This is what she's finna say. They pretty much look younger than legal, but could pass for older than legal. And y'all can figure it out after she says it. We'll have a nice little conversation about how the fuck you can even come to that conclusion. But I want y'all to hear this. I want y'all to hear her say this because she said it.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Now, Riddle me this, Batman. What the hell is she talking?
Hold on.
Yeah, this shit crazy, bro. This shit wild. You saw that shit, man?
Y'all heard her say that, right?
Facts.
Let me let her say it one more time. I'm gonna let her say it one more time. Just so people in the back that didn't hear can hear it again.
It looked like they were legal.
And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. That he wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal.
What you just said.
Well, he wants, but they look, it's not a teen, but can also pass as legal. Now, I guess if she's going off her 15 being legal, 15 years old being legal, I get it. But I just know the law says that for you to be legally grown, your ass got to be at least 18. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know how they could look.
Unless you're talking about like some states where the statute is 15 or 16, I probably have to look that shit up.
Yeah, like, if she's talking about married, but she only ever brought up 15 though. You can't get married in the United States at 15. Even with parent consent. It's gotta be 16, I think. Could be wrong, but damn. Like, what the fuck are you marrying a 15-year-old for? Like, just think about the mindset of somebody, like maybe in the Amish community or some shit like that. Maybe, you know, them deep, super white Catholicism, you know, communities, you know, that Andrew was trying to fucking say were so fucking great the other day. I don't know, but like, they weren't 8, but they were a teen, but they passed for younger, but they also passed for older. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? How can they pass for younger and older at the same time? That doesn't even make no sense.
Is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Now, riddle me this, Batman. What the hell is she talking about? What is she talking about, man? We need to put a hat on her with a question mark because she is a new Riddler. Because that makes no damn sense. So let me get this straight. Barely legal, which doesn't even make sense to begin with, because you're talking about a 15-year-old. So a 15-year-old who looks younger, right? They look younger.
The very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were.
But you're saying they can pass as an adult? They can pass?
But would look legal to a passerby.
How does that work? How are you a child that looks to be an even younger child, but from other people, you look like you're illegal? It doesn't even make any sense. What she's saying doesn't even make any sense. They're just, and the lady next to her, she got a whole Star of David on going, Not one point in time did you say, Megan, can I interject for a second? I don't think that's what you mean to say, right? I think you probably have misspoke, right? Nothing. She's just co-signing, And then they tried to joke about Pam Bondi. And it's like, you're trying to discredit Pam Bondi, not about releasing the Epstein files, but you're trying to discredit Pam Bondi to run cover for Epstein. That's what she was doing. She was trying to say, well, you know, Pam Bondi, said that, he did this and that. And, I can't trust Pam Bondi.
And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos that for the first time I thought, oh, no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off
like
on.
She snort cocaine, bro. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Looking at Megyn Kelly right now, bro, she looked like she snort cocaine. Because I remember what that hole used to look like. When she was still pretending to be on the side of like what was fair and equal for everybody. She don't look like that no more, bro. I could literally cast her right now the way she looking in like a Game of Thrones video. And I can picture her being back there in that time. I can really picture that. And I fuck with
With a
Game of
Viking
Thrones.
outfit on, what? With a Viking outfit on, with a barbarian sword and shit.
I know.
Yes, my lord.
Actually got her. I got her as I ain't gonna lie. I have her as one of those little the castle wenches. That's what I would have her as. Like I ain't
kitchen and
got her out
shit.
there. Yeah, like you over here taking the piss pot out the goddamn fucking the queen's room and shit when she pregnant and shit. That's what I would have at. I wouldn't have her out there fight no battle or nothing. She just looked like bitch, your body has like you done shrunk up. Like she used to have some volume to her face and shit. Like it's all this cheekbone and shit. And like, girl, you out here saying this dumbass shit. A 15-year-old is barely legal. A 15-year-old ain't legal. And then you talking about people that could pass for that. 15-year-olds that look like they were younger than 15-year-olds, but they can also pass for somebody like that. Like that's some weird ass fucking shit. Like and you claim
Reptilian.
that
She's
you
a reptilian, dog. She a reptilian now, dog. They replaced Megan Kelly when she was in college.
man, look, we gotta stop using them terms, Hurricane. I ain't even gonna hold you. I know you like to use them. I ain't gonna stop using them.
Look. I'm just playing. But yeah,
No,
I'm just
you
going
fine,
on based on the look.
based on the look. No, I've heard that
She
term.
look like
I
an
see you
alien.
on there. I see it.
She like an alien.
I call that shit because I said I'm gonna get on this. I call that the look of evil. There's good and there's evil. Ain't no point in me talking about good and bad, left and right, and all that. No, it's just good and evil. And that's evil.
With that perception, King Charles looked at evil, the Queen Elizabeth, all those words, yeah. Klaus Schwab, George Soros, yeah, they got that look in their eye.
Look, Queen Elizabeth was a terrible person. Terrible person. And she's look, just like I've been telling all these other folks that keep coming up on my channel, she's figured it out. Hell is hot. If she truly believed like what she claimed and put out there, and it is real, well, guess what? She's out there sunbathing like a motherfucker right now for the rest of eternity. Because that motherfucker was not a good person at all. I don't believe that you can do one evil thing and correct it by doing one good thing. I don't believe that's the equation. At the bare minimum, the equation should be for one evil, you got to do 4 goods, equivalent to that one evil that you did. That's my grading scale. If you want to try to get out of that,
what My Name is Earl had to do. You know, just like the show My Name is Earl, that nigga had to make amends with everybody he fucked over. Well, they got a lot of people they need to make amends to in this fucking country.
Like Megan crazy on what the fuck she on right now, but like I can't get past the kid shit. But matter of fact, fuck it. I'm gonna let Lucas finish it out, and then we're gonna get our final thoughts in. Cause he almost done. But yeah, whatever. I don't know what the fuck. Either way, let it go.
Pam Bondi, said that he did this and that, and I can't trust Pam Bondi.
And it wasn't until we heard from Pam Bondi that they had tens of thousands of videos that for the first time I thought, oh no, he was an actual pedophile. I mean, only a pedophile gets off on young children abuse videos. She's never clarified it. I don't know whether it's true. I have to be honest. I don't really trust Pam Bondi's word on the Epstein matters anymore.
And like, wait, what? So when Pam Bondi said that this man had this, and it's all documented, you can't trust her on that. Of all things to not trust her on, that's one thing you can't trust her on. This is, it's making sense. I don't want it to make sense, but it's making sense, fam. It's really making sense. And I'm not gonna lie, her having the Star of David all out in this conversation is not a good look, boo-boo. I don't know how to tell you this, but that's not a good look, especially with the conspiracies surrounding Charlie Kirk and Netanyahu and Israel. That's not really a good look, okay? I think at this point, anybody with a red cap, anyone saying make America great again, you're a pedophile, okay? You're a pedophile adjacent, which makes you a pedophile, in my opinion. If you're advocating on behalf of a pedophile, congratulations, you are one. That's how I see it, okay? So I guess you can join Drake and have a fun day. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. I don't see the either or here. I really don't. I think all of us should understand that this is not good, that this is bad, that if we're trying to cover up for people who are responsible for innocent children and women being trafficked, that's bad. I surely we can agree on that. But apparently we can't. Apparently we can't, and that's a sad day in this country, a real sad day. Anyways, I hope you guys.
I'll just say this. I don't think it's a sad day in this country. You know why? Because this country has a long history, and this is the one thing that it's part of my motivators for getting the fuck on up out of this bitch in due time. And I promise you, in due time. But this country has a lot of evils and wrongs that it's done over the history of time of this so-called creation of this bitch that people just look over. And this could just be, honestly, this wouldn't even be the worst one if you really want to get down to it. Like one guy having a connection of rich, powerful people that touch kids for a little while, for like less than 10 years. Let's say 10 years. No matter of fact, let's say fucking 50 years. Let's say it. This wouldn't be the worst atrocity that's happened in America. It wouldn't be. Is it a bad one? Oh, hell yeah. Really bad. Really, really bad. But would it be the worst atrocity? Nah. America got a lot of bigger things on his goddamn track record than that. Like, so I'm like, look, if they want to look at it that way, I get it. But, I understand how these people don't give a fuck about it. Especially the people that are in the know. Like, they know the history. They know the real. I can understand why they was like, man, y'all tripping no bullshit, bro. Man, we had motherfuckers in chain, bro. Like, we for the people. Like, what y'all talking about? Fuck them kids, nigga. Like, that's what they would be on. Like, that's their mindset. They were like, fuck them kids, nigga. Like, but I'm trying my best to get into the mind of a crazy person. But now, look, I will repeat this time and time again to all the people that have that same mindset, that feel that type of way. Man, hell is hot.
That's impossible. You can't get in the mind of a crazy person. I mean, you're crazy yourself.
I do my best. Obviously, I might not be able to complete the process, but I can damn sure try. That's all I can do. I can just try to get close to them. Like, man, look. Because I done seen crazy. I got crazy in my family. And the sad part is I can never deny. If I see so many people in my family, especially within immediate family that are crazy, I got to have some of it in me. So I should be able to understand some of it. Like, even if I still operate and do what I'm supposed to do, maybe I'm just a crazy that ain't cracked. But I see crazy, and I know I can see crazy when I see crazy. And that shit right there is crazy. A 15-year-old is barely legal. That's crazy work. Crazy. That's crazy right there. Like, that's ooh. I can't get behind shit like that. And I would never align myself. Go ahead.
Definitely not in the West. There are certain nations in the world that they think that young women that are of period age are women, but not in the West. Not in the West.
It is in the job. You can marry a 16-year-old in America.
I think shit. It's some states. I think like Toledo was one, or somewhere in the Midwest. Some other places.
You can marry
all over.
You can marry 16-year-olds in multiple states in America right now.
Yep.
All you need is parents' consent.
Yep. And make sure you pay that pastor that fee. If I heard you got to pay a pastor a fee.
You ain't got to pay the pastor. Well, legally, you don't even have to pay a pastor a fee. But that's just tradition.
Word?
Yeah, it's just tradition. But you can marry a 16-year-old in America. You can marry a fucking 14-year-old in America. If it comes down to it, the parents The Americans, like the parents, have to approve because it's these old fucking sick ass fucking laws these fucking sick ass fuckers brought over here after they genocide the people that were here off the land. Like that, like that's what brought your evil and sickness to this country. And people be sitting around here acting like, man, like if I say something like this, they be like, oh, you just hate white people. Look how racist you are. I'm like, bitch, where is the lie? Right, fuck. And I'm not talking about an individual. I'm talking about what a collective group of people did. And you can show it. When y'all say the shit y'all say about us, it's like, yeah, Keisha went to the goddamn store, didn't have no money on her EBT car, and crashed out and acted real ratchet. That's how all black women are. That's racist because that's just Keisha. All black women don't act like that. Just in case a black dude did some bullshit, like if one white dude did some fucked up shit, and it's like a white dude got into a car accident. That's what they all do. All white guys. It's the same shit y'all say about the Asians. Say Asians can't drive. Y'all love saying that shit. Asians can't drive. I be hearing y'all. And now y'all saying Hispanics can't drive now because you know there's a lot of them over here. I'm like, damn, bro. And y'all be talking about if I say it's nah, we not playing that game, man. Look. But once again, what I said earlier, we're not doing A to B. We're doing A to Z. We're doing A to Z. We're not just service level thinking around this bitch because it all sounds good in the very beginning, but then it's like when you break it down, it's like it's the same argument I said before. You got people like Charlie Kirk and you know some other people that like to put that shit out there, and they wonder why people don't like them. Talking about 13% of the population commits 15% of the crime. Then why ain't 13% of black people not locked the fuck up when that's all we are? Stupid motherfucker. Less than fucking 50% of black people are in fucking prison. Less than goddamn 25% of black people are in fucking prison. But y'all talking about 13% to make up fucking shit. Your numbers don't even add up, nigga. Like, what are you talking about? But you just want to keep saying that shit. That's racist shit. Oh, I hope if I see a black pilot, I hope he's qualified. Like, qualified in what? The system that you set up to make sure that certain people couldn't get in here and he excelled enough to be able to go through your system and pass? Because you know, they ain't just letting black pilots just come up in here, motherfucker. You know, but you hope that the black guy that actually walks in after going through the system is qualified. Okay. Bitch, he more qualified than that white dude that you had fucking come up in there. I can promise you that. He's more qualified probably than the Asian, the Indian, the Native American. If the Native Americans are even trying to fly planes, I think they just really worrying about their casinos right now. I'm just saying, I don't really think that's their high priority. And keeping y'all off their land from touching their girls and shit where they can't fucking prosecute you because you know y'all been doing that shit too still. Like, we ain't gonna talk about that. That's some stories that I don't be talking about. But it's amazing how the jet is running the goddamn fucking court. Because the sad part, we should be sitting at the front of the court and governing it. But we have the jester running it.
Right.
It's playing games, jumping around like this with a cane. It's like,
the inmates have ran the asylum, dog. The inmates run the asylum now. We are in Arkham Asylum, and Joker is running this bitch, dog. We got to be like Batman and try to escape.
Nah, the sad part is Batman running the goddamn asylum. We need to be like Joker, and we need to try to escape because Joker actually was right. Heath Ledger was right.
Oh yeah,
he was right.
Hey yo, I was talking about the Arkham game. My bad for the Arkham game analogy, yo. My bad. But like the movie was the shit. Yes, Joker was right. Yeah, hell yeah.
This shit just blows my mind with it when it all refers, like when it all comes down full circle. I'm just like, I want people to really pay attention. Like, look, I tried to make this video a little bit of informational. Now I understand that it was kind of based off of my bias on shit, and I know people might not agree with my bias, and by all means, you don't have to. You don't have to. This is just the way that this is my worldview. This is how I view it. And that's just based off of what I've experienced throughout life, going to all these different countries and shit, and dealing with different people all around from different states and shit. And this is my view of it. And I see other people like Lucas and other folks that see it a similar way, even though we vary on certain topics. But there's a trick that is being played. That's one thing that I think we all can come to a consensus on. There's a trick that's being played on the American people. You can figure out which trick is being played on you, but there's still a trick being played. So how many of y'all are going to actually open up your fucking mouth and stop being pussies? Because a lot of y'all are pussies. A lot of y'all some pie-ass motherfuckers that won't say shit and just keep on going with the bullshit. How many of y'all gonna open up your mouth and call it the fuck out? Because everybody's acting like, oh, won't nothing change? You know, if I say so, won't nothing change? And that's why they did a really good job of separating you, because there's always strength in numbers. You see why Target changed out? Like, you know, they took their DEI programs away. And as soon as people started boycotting them, they brought them hoes back in less than a month.
Yeah.
There's strength in numbers. All this shit comes down to numbers. That's all it comes down to. But when you can divide the population, you can do whatever the fuck you want to them. Because everybody's on that individual shit. Y'all gents get in. Let me stop talking, bro. Let me stop talking.
Hey, yo, when you said that, I thought about the Warriors, dog. When that nigga Osiris was talking, like, come on, man. You see all of us right here? Like, nah, look at these strength and numbers. Look at the cops over there. This motherfucker watching a bunch of bitches. Nigga, we can score this motherfucker whole motherfucker if you wanted to. Hey, you dig it. Nigga, y'all some bad pussies, dog. I caught it out of my new music and shit.
Look, people need to truly understand this. And I'm talking about a philosophical type shit. Like, look, there's always strength in numbers. That is your greatest strength. But I also want you to understand, and this is not me advocating for nothing. I don't want nobody to misconstrue what the fuck I'm saying. I'm just giving a yin to a fucking yang. That's all I'm doing, giving a yin to a yang. Regardless of how many people you have, how many people you have on your side, you have to be willing to fight for it. You have to. That's all I'm saying. You have to. I'm not advocating for violence, but you got it. It has to be on the table. It has to be. Because you be like, yeah, we got a whole bunch of y'all, and y'all not gonna do this to us. And it's like, if you're willing to fight for it, bitch, then you just over there for no reason. You just pretty much just standing targets.
Yeah.
And when you want to see the change, you need to be the change that you want to see. And then you need to try to push that towards other people. I've been trying to do that for the longest, being on here. And I done got to the point now, it's like, look, man, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm getting the fuck on, bro.
I'm gone, man. The Philippines.
Bro, I'm gone. I don't give no fuck about none of that shit that nobody else is talking about, bro. I'm getting the fuck on. I'm going here and mind my own motherfucking business, bro. I'm being dead ass serious. I'ma still put out the content that I put out, and I'ma still fucking try to advocate for the things that I believe in. But I promise you, I'm gonna get my ass out the way. I literally be like, oh, you want to fuck with him? Okay, well, guess what? Let me step to the side. Go ahead. I'm gonna tell you, don't do it. I'm gonna tell you, don't do it. But I'm gonna slide my ass right to the side because I can't fight everybody battles. I can't, and that's why I say I gotta make them t-shirts the other night. Hurricane. Everybody not gonna make the boat. It applies for so many aspects in life. I can't do it. I can't. I got too many people dependent on me. I can't. I'm gonna slide to the side and fucking and do what you gonna do. Cause some people look. People are not gonna make this fucking boat. There are a lot of people that are not gonna make it there. They're not. They're just not. They're predestined to fucking burn and they're just gonna do whatever they do, bro. It is what it is, man. All I can do is try to do what I can do. That's why I laugh at people like, you ain't out there speaking to the people in the public. No, I'm not, because I'm speaking to the people online. Nigga, you go speak to the people in public, nigga. Just like you ain't the nigga, you speaking to the people in public, but you ain't the nigga out there feeding them people in public. Bitch, why ain't you feeding them in public? Because you the nigga out there speaking into them in public. Like, bitch, we all got our role to play.
Yep. Right now, I'm the minister of information. But when I leave YouTube, when I leave, it's gonna be a rap. It's gonna be a whole bunch of allegedly.
Look, I'm gonna leave that battle to you, Hurricane. I'm gonna leave that to you and everybody else that wanna jump on it. And I ain't gonna knock you. I ain't finna sit here and fucking criticize you for it. I'm gonna leave that to
I'm gonna
y'all.
speak to you from a coconut phone, bro. It's gonna be from a coconut phone. A motherfucking encrypted coconut phone. I'm talking to you from the Philippines and shit.
I ain't gonna knock that. I ain't gonna knock it. Do we still got my boy Jive up in here? Is Jive still up in here?
Yeah, we up in here, bro.
All right, give me your thoughts on this. I gotta take a piss real quick, like, so go ahead. Y'all gotta talk for a second.
All right.
Well, yeah, this whole event, this whole live was very informative. It opened up your perspective. It should open up your perspective as to the jewels we've been dropping. It's a lot to think about when you get off this live tonight. Make sure you sit back, smoke you an L, and drink you a brew.
Yeah.
Pour out a little yak, and just ponder everything we talked about. Replay it back. Catch the little jewels we've been dropping. It ain't too much. It ain't too much. It's not hidden. It's right there in plain view. Nothing's hidden no more. Like if you don't understand anything, like you got Chat GPT, you could ask a question. You got different AI software, Gemini. If you don't have Chat GPT, you can hit Gemini, and you could definitely find out more about the world, your government, and how it's spending. Be proactive. Do better for your family. Do better for yourself.
Yep. Message.
Right. That is just it. That is just it. It's really simple. We try to lay it out there for you. We can't even spell it out for you because some of y'all can't spell, but we try to communicate in the common tongue, in the King's English, and yeah. I appreciate y'all for rocking with us this long. Ain't too much. I got King. What you got?
Yeah, sure. Great show, very informative as always. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to this channel to calm down because I'm wild on my channel. I'm like a revolutionary content creator, so I got
right.
You know, I got a whole bunch of revolutionary music and a whole bunch of revolutionary content. I just got done doing that on HHN special stories on reading from the Epstein files, like 87 pages. I got done reading 20. So I'm like, I'm gonna do like 20 a day and shit. So, but yeah, very informative. I also covered what Jay covered on the on the destruction of all the empires and shit, the monetary system. And shouts out to Crystal. It's cool for throwing me that for for some news. Shout out to Crystal.
Right.
And shout out to everybody in the chat. And yeah, that is very informative, to take your time out to do your due diligence and read up on your government that y'all vote for, that y'all believe in, and look up all your politicians in your state that goes for the people, so you can be like, all right, I fucks with that person because he fucks with the people. Those motherfuckers got the APAC money. But
they definitely got Congress.gov for you to check out. It tell you how they spending, what they spending on, how they voted, who they mama is. Everything.
Yep. And message of the night: keep your head up, keep that bread up, keep your self-awareness up, keep your spatial awareness up, and protect yourself, protect your family, and viva la revolution. Start out.
Right.
And peace to the chat, peace to the chat. Shouts out to the squad.
Yeah.
All right, now here go check y'all. Because y'all gave me y'all final thoughts for the night, and I like that because wrote right in perfectly. So I'm gonna play this one little video, and this is really for content creators only, and for anybody that's actually possibly getting into it, because I want y'all to understand what's going on right now on YouTube, and I don't want this shit to disappear before motherfuckers do some dumb shit. Because Hurricane, you know how they like to come after your channel. They like to come after mine too. They like to come after mine. So I'm making sure I get this actually out here in multiple videos, so it won't be hidden, and I'll be like, I can refer to this. But I want y'all to see what YouTube has been doing for people that's been uploading shorts as of recent, and it's gonna be a play-by-play real quick, like, and I'm gonna show y'all one way that I do mine, and I want y'all to see something funny, and y'all tell me what the problem is at the end of it, and then I'm gonna give my final thoughts. But either way though, let's check this out real quick. Let me make sure I turn that volume on.
All right, YouTube. I got a question because I know later on down the road y'all gonna try to do some sneaky shit. So I'm recording this shit so y'all can see it, y'all. So everybody can see it. All right, look, we're about to create a short. All right, let's go ahead and click on create short. We're gonna grab one of these videos I got in here. Let's see what we can do. Let's go with this one right here. And I know this one might piss people off. All right, boom, boom, boom. So here you go. You see, we're getting ready to process the video. It's processing right now. About to put some edits on this video real quick, like. Let's put some edits on it. All right, so we're gonna add in some edits. Let's see. Let's say, why is this joke bad? Why is this joke bad? Well, I spelled it wrong. I don't know how to spell. Hold up. Yeah, I'm not used to really recording while I'm holding the phone. Joke bad. All right. All right. We're gonna put caps right there. Boom. Click on it again. We're gonna make it a little bit bigger, and we're gonna slap it right here. All right. Also gonna add in a smiley face. We're gonna put a smiley face on here because you gotta make sure you transform these things. So we're gonna make that a little big right there, and we're gonna put that right over here in the corner. All right. See. All right. So we're getting ready. We already got it done. We changed it up a little bit. So let's go to the top right here and let's hit bad joke for the title. And we're going to put a question mark on it, all right? We're going to make it public immediately, y'all. We're going to make it public immediately, all right? So let's hit upload, all right? So it's uploaded, all right? You see right here it's uploading. You see how it's showing that, it's got the edits in it, right? It's got the edits. You see how it's showing that in the background? So it says, well, was this joke bad, all right? Y'all see that, right? All right, let's give it a second. Let's let it finish all the way uploading. 55%, 55%, 56, whatever the hell. Scroll around because, I got a question. I got a question about this. Really shouldn't take this long for that shit to upload. It's not even really that long. But we'll give it in a second. Okay, boom. It's uploaded. Watch this video. And of course where'd the edit go? YouTube, where's the edit? Y'all just watch me edit that video and put stuff on it. Why is it not showing up now? Why is it not showing up? And I'm asking this question because I've done this like multiple times now, and on multiple videos, it seems to keep doing that. I put my edits in here like these, and when I click on the video, is nothing in the video. Now, YouTube, y'all gonna have to answer for that because I know y'all gonna say somebody copyright this and copyright that. Something's wrong with your. All right, YouTube.
All right, just want to put that out there just so YouTube has that up there. They had tried to delete the other video I put up there. Just want to throw that out there because yeah. But to the government conversation that we were having tonight, I'm really kind of getting on that passive shit because I know I'm about to get the fuck on away from here and I ain't finna have to deal with it. But like for the folk, like here, let's act like I'm gonna stay here. We have to stop being so engaged into our own personal lives and actually start caring about other people. And I think that's the biggest problem in America right now. I think, especially when it comes to like the right, they feel more about taking away from people, and then the people on the left are more about just care about what we got going on, when we need to be actually in the mindset of caring about what everybody has going on, because that's how we can address everybody's shit. But anytime there's any division, there's always going to be conflict in between to stop one group from doing something because they feel like it's taking something away from their group. These fuckers in America, in my honest opinion, I don't think they're going to wake up to it. Hurricane said it earlier. We can look throughout history and see the fall of empires. We can see how many years it took for those empires to fall. If you don't know, America's well due. It's well due for a collapse. Well due. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't think any of y'all want to be a part of it. And we're speaking from the position of trying to actually save it. A lot of people got to get that hate out of their heart. And actually, we need to have a come to Jesus moment and reconcile the past situations that put people in certain situations, everything as a whole. And then, honestly, white people, y'all the ones who need to figure it the fuck out. I'm just be honest with y'all. White people, y'all need to figure it the fuck out. Y'all need to figure it out, because you claim y'all built this country, you know, that from the lack of knowing, and you claim that you were the architects of this. So all of this is your problem. All of this is your fault. We've gotten to the point where we've never cared about the people at the bottom. We've always been about the people who had the power. That's how this country was always built. And we need to get away from that. I know they say socialism is so bad. Communism is so bad. Well, let's look at all the results of capitalism. Has it been great? Because they talk about America being the richest nation in the world. Are you rich? I be laughing when people be like claiming. It's like you claiming my football team won the Super Bowl. Okay, nigga, what the fuck did that do for you? You didn't benefit nothing from that. But I bet money you bought the jersey. You probably bought a ticket to go to a game. The fuck did that do for you? Same thing with America. Motherfucker be repping the flag and buying fucking fireworks and shit. Like, bitch, you own Section 8, nigga. Like, and I'm not talking about black people, y'all. I'm not talking about black people.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, I'm really trying to tell you, I'm not talking about the black people. I'm talking about the white folks right now. Like I really am. I want white people to know. I'm talking about y'all because I lived around y'all that be on. Yeah, shit. I know more people that are white that use Section 8 and food stamps and are on Medicaid and Medicare than I know that are black people. And I'm black. I'm just being honest with you. That's why I always laughed at it when people said that shit.
Yeah.
And when you look at the raw numbers, because I know somebody gonna come out here, per capita though, per capita. Y'all are more on this shit. And honestly, what is your excuse for being on it compared to black people? Because black people actually got an excuse. You know what their excuse is? You. Real fucking simple. So I'm like, I don't understand the concept. Like, look, if we really want this country to actually work for the citizens who it's supposed to work for, the government, we don't work for the fucking government. I don't understand if people understand that, but they're supposed to work for us. They take our money, they're supposed to use that money to benefit us. And when they consistently show us that they're not, and they spend this money by sending $40 billion to goddamn fucking Argentina, when they send fucking, I don't know what the cost of those missiles they sent over there to bomb Iran. I don't know how much money we've been wasting recently off all them bombings they've been doing in Venezuela, where they trying to goddamn fucking start a war with them bitches. Like all
They're
this
killing
fucking
innocent
shit.
fishermen, dog. They
All
killing
this
all
shit.
these fishermen, dog.
Like
Some
y'all motherfuckers.
bullshit.
Look, we ain't got no reparations for black people. We ain't got no money for universal health care. We ain't got no money for to fix these roads and these bridges and shit. We ain't got no money for none of that. But we see all this evil that we're doing around the world. And I don't give a fuck what none of y'all bitches that disagree with it say. That is evil. That is wrong. And until the rest of everybody in this country wakes up, it's going to continue. We have too many people that okay the bullshit. They okay it. They accept it as the status quo. But they also claim to be Christian too. Let's not forget that. They also claim to be Christian. But remember that. These Christians are saying this. They want to say, murder them motherfuckers across the ocean. Did they attack you? No, but they're doing something. They're bringing drugs. Murder them. Yeah. That ain't the Christian way. I think Jesus told you to turn the other cheek, buddy. But you know, do whatever the hell you want to do. Look, people just need to stand up against it, man. Like everybody's gonna have their different beliefs when it comes to different things, when it comes to society, because forming the society is multifaceted, y'all. It's very complicated. It's not simple. It's beyond the A to Z type situation. Man, it's like A to Z times 17. Like it's very complicated. But we have to come together and on the basis of, like, for real, just good and evil, man. It's good and evil. Because right and wrong, some person's right could be wrong to somebody else, and then somebody's wrong could be right to somebody else. Like, no, that's good and evil. What's good? What's evil? And we need to figure it out.
Right. Right. They so stupid, dog. They so stupid, dog. Man, dog, it's like stupidity and evil mixed together, dog. It's fucking crazy, dog. That's, like, I can battle evil, man, but like battling stupidity, that's the.
Oh, and don't forget the fear. Don't forget the fear aspect, because that's how they really govern a lot of people. They put fear in their heart. They make it seem like somebody else is a problem to them. They put that fear in their heart so they don't give a fuck about what they do to take that so-called fear away from them. These illegals, y'all notice they ain't been locking up no violent criminals for real. They ain't been deporting no violent criminals. They've been deporting people that be working at Home Depot. They go to Home Depot early in the morning trying to see if somebody need a job. Y'all know the funny thing, I stood outside of Home Depot before, waiting on somebody to come up there that needed some work done at their house. I know them Hispanic folks that stood beside me, and most of them ain't Mexican, like all these motherfuckers want to call. They like, for real. Well, I guess Mexican is like the default. And it's starting to get derogatory, because most of these motherfuckers from like Guatemala and shit like that. Like, bro, these motherfuckers ain't from no goddamn Mexico. Mexicans are pretty much cool in Mexico, bro. Like, most Mexicans are cool in Mexico, bro. They ain't coming up here. But it's like, I done been around these folks. I done spent time with these folks. That's why you notice most white dudes and white women that are cool with black people and don't have that sentiment actually spend a significant time around black people and people of other races. The ones who have not spent that time around other groups have these stereotypes and negative aspects about them. But I've spent my whole life around black people, pretty much, in a sense. Are there some black people I don't like? Hell to the fucking yes. But I know that's not the majority of black people. But I think the people that have all these strong stereotypes that push that shit across the board, they don't spend time with any of the people they claim they don't like. They don't spend any time around them.
For real.
Majority of black people are not in prison. Not even 1/4 of black people are in prison. It's a small percentage of the entire American population that are in prison. It's small compared to the grand scheme of how many people we have. Now, is it a big number in the grand scheme because of how many people we have? Yeah. But it's small in the number, like percentage number. Like, majority of people are not committing crimes. And the sad part is, actually, I will say this. majority of people are committing crimes, but majority of people are not getting arrested for the crimes they commit. I'll put it like that. Take it however you want to take it.
The government can. That's all I say.
You ride around in the hood all day looking for motherfuckers selling weed, but it's a motherfucker that got a whole meth house, like 17 meth houses in that goddamn suburb on the outside of town, but you ain't riding around there.
Yeah, or there's a politician trafficking kids under our nose and shit.
Matt Gaetz.
Speak the truth.
Look, this whole show is just like, for real, just look, open your mind. I understand we have a lot of these political issues going on in our society right now. Left, right, there's no center. There's no center at all. But I know we got a lot of these political issues going on. Please open your eyes to what is actually going on. And please, the simplest thing in the world to do, because I'm pretty sure majority of us, if not all of us, have this on us. Take your fucking phone, pick it up. Especially if you got an Android. Now, y'all Apple Siri user motherfuckers, y'all can download Google on there, but just tap it in there and ask that bitch the question. I know my boy Job was talking about Chat GPT and all that. Ask Chat GPT if you're an Apple user. Ask them if what you just heard is true. Because sometimes if it sounds too good to be true, if it plays into whatever bias you have, you need to check your own biases, or biases, as they like to say. Check them and make sure that you ain't getting led astray, bro. Because a lot of this shit that they feeding us is propaganda, bro. It's just indoctrination on level 12 right now. Like, dude, that's why I don't.
Yo, look at the Smith-Month Act, everybody. The Smith-Month Act. They have the right to put out propaganda in front of you and fuck you up. And it's supposed to be a tool of the motherfucking for the foreign nations, but they're using it on us. So look up the Smith-Month Act, everybody.
Bro, man, like, look, man, I hope this video helps some of y'all, and I know it's gonna be some people like, yeah, these stupid ass Negroes or whatever, niggers or whatever they might say. That's fine and dandy, man. Look, for most people, like, look, man, y'all gonna have to deal with this shit to the day y'all die. And I'm gonna tell you, for me, I'm not gonna have to worry about it. I'm getting the fuck on. I ain't got time to be worrying about that shit. It's just a matter of time, and I'm not tripping on it, man. It's gonna be your fucking problem. I just do my fucking prophesying and talking from a distance. I love, like, you know, I ain't gotta be up in your face, but I can love you from a distance. It's gonna be that type of time.
Hey yo, like Martin Luther King set off of Boondocks. No, I won't be there with you. I'm going to Canada.
Mm-hmm. I on some real ass shit, man. I ain't gonna be there with the motherfuckers. Like, I ain't got time for it. All I can do is say what I need to say one time, and I like, and if that's if I'm talking to you in person, all I can do is say it to you one time. And if you don't gravitate to it, it's all gonna depend on how much I give a fuck about you if I'm gonna say it to you again, because otherwise I'm just going about my business, bro, and like just leave it at where it is. And it is what it is. I don't care what anybody else thinks about that. Like, that's one thing I stand on, where I don't give a fuck what nobody else thinks. You can say, oh, you a shitty person, help me. Nah, fuck that. I got a certain amount of time on my goddamn schedule that God gave me, or whoever is whatever, like, because I know some people, everybody got their own different belief. But from my side, there is somebody up here above. And there's a certain time period that he gave me on this earth. I'm not wasting it on you. I can guarantee you that shit. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to be doing in between, like what I'm doing right now. And if that's not enough in between, like, bro, I got to have time for myself. I got to have time to get myself right. Like, bitch, like, look, the plane going down. You know what they tell you every time, y'all? The plane about to crash and it's falling, it's descending, you come with different atmospheres down. They tell you to put your fucking goddamn mask on first. I'm gonna put my motherfucking mask on first. I just want you to know that every fucking time. I'm gonna save myself before I save you. If I can save myself first and I got time, I can try to save. But I'm gonna save myself first. And this shit right here, bro, it's not it. It's just not it, bro. Like, I don't know. I'm a little irritated talking about it. But look, man, we done dragged this shit out. Once again, before we get up out of here, I know y'all kind of gave somewhat final thoughts, but I need to get Jive, let him know where to find you at again real quick, like, and then we're gonna go to Hurricane. He let him know where to find him at.
All right, bet. You can find me at No Jive TV for the gaming and Reality with No Jive on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, X, and all that.
All right, now.
Reality with No Jive and No Jive TV.
So,
all right, baby. Make sure y'all definitely go over there, like, subscribe, and share. I told y'all, man, if y'all in that world of tanks, man, look, he gonna put you on to something because he actually know how to run that hoe. He know how to run that hoe, and he know how to get a dub. I suck at it.
And in Vigor too, I'm a boss in Vigor.
Oh yeah, and that vigor. That he can keep that vigor to himself, but yeah, and that vigor too. Hey, vigor sounds
I like stealing y'all shit. So don't come around me.
I ain't gonna hold you on that shit. Fucking and Hurricane. I'm sorry, Kane Dynamite. I've been saying Hurricane all night, but it's Kane Dynamite. Kane Dynamite.
Yeah.
Your thoughts.
Kane Dynamite, you already know. Black Dynamite. Dynamite, you already know. Yeah. Oh, great show. Shouts out there, everybody. Catch me at Hurricane JW2 on YouTube and Facebook, and on Hurricane.2029 on Instagram, and on Hurricane JW6 on Instagram too. And over here on YouTube, I'm home with the Fuck the Government podcast, HHN Special Report of the Detroit After Dark. That's the after party after this show. So people in the chat, shout out to the squad. Make sure y'all come back. I'll be ready in like 5 minutes after we get done with this. But great show. Shouts out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to JVJ. But make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And hope this was a great informative episode for y'all to get some knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And know about this government and the empires before it, and know what's about to happen. And use your preparation. You know what I'm saying? Just watch yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Keep your eyes open, man.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open. And Hurricane, man, we're gonna have to get you a show on the network. We're gonna have to. You don't put in too much work already. We got to get you a show on the network one of these days, but we'll talk about that offline.
For sure.
Look, man, I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man. For real, anybody that came to support Hurricane, support my boy Jive, support me, support whatever the fuck, man. I don't give a fuck what you was supporting as long as you was here. I appreciate that shit. And look, we about to get into a time where I'm about to like literally lock in on some crazy ass shit, and we're gonna really have some conversations that's gonna piss some people off. So I might need to hire some security. But either way, outside of that, fucking man, I really do appreciate all y'all that tuned in. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, share, turn notifications on, and all that in the bag of chips for the Let's Talk with JVJ on Facebook and on YouTube. The JVJ Network on YouTube.
Right.
And everybody else's channel that they said tonight, man. Make sure y'all do that. Look, man, I'm just trying to show y'all something, man. Like, if y'all ain't vibing with it, y'all ain't vibing with it. But I just want y'all to see what I'm saying. I might be saying it wrong. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. Like, for real. And honestly, y'all need to if I am wrong. Like, for real. Tell me if a nigga wrong.
You good.
But for real, because that's the shit. Because we need to all be in this bitch together, man. There need to be one collective mind when it comes to things, and everybody should have an input on this shit. And yeah, well, some people shouldn't have no input, but majority of us should have an input on this shit because we got some retards around this motherfucker. I hope YouTube don't try to come at me for that one, saying that shit. But some people ain't mentally there. But look, pay attention to what the fuck is going on around you, man.
All right.
I'm just saying that for everybody that plan on staying in America for the rest of their life, man, pay attention. Like that, because I ain't even a dip. I just been playing with you, bro. I ain't even playing with you. But look, man, look, it's been fun. It's been great. We're gonna be right back here again on Tuesday. Yeah, because it's Saturday tonight. We're gonna be on Tuesday for the sports show. So I know some of y'all might not be around for that, but we do sports on J Talk Sports and Let's Talk with JVJ and the Facebook page.
Yeah,
So
I thought about say salute. You know, I be like, what up, no salute. I gotta be chill for like 20 minutes real quick. You know?
yeah. Because
Yeah, I gotta
it
say
be
my
that type of
salute.
time. I know a lot of people not into that shit, man. Look, a lot of people don't like sports, so they like the controversial shit. But we gonna keep it going, y'all, man. Like, keep supporting the channel, man. YouTube been doing some little funny shit, so we always need y'all help, man. Y'all lock in and do what it do. And anybody that came in, look, man, support everybody that came up on this panel. Everybody that shouted out their channel, support them. Like, for real, man. We gotta build a community. If we don't build no goddamn community, we ain't got shit, bruh. We ain't got shit. So we catch y'all in the next one as always, man.
Yeah. After party at my house. Yeah.
All
Hey,
right.
y'all go check out Hurricane. Y'all better make sure y'all do that shit.
Don't tell me about me. Stop telling 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 me about me. I don't need you to tell me about me.